But did you know that this so-called woke ideology is also flooding into the church?
Reparations fits into the scope of the Gospels.
Watch the documentary, How the Left is Stealing Your Church, and discover how the ideology behind critical race theory and the LGBT agenda is being smuggled into the evangelical world. Stream it now for $9.99 or get the DVD for $12.99. Go to salemnow.com or look for the Salem Now app.
Reports from Yemen's capital say several people have been killed in Saudi-led bombings, retaliation for Monday's Houthi rebel airstrikes on the United Arab Emirates.
The Saudi-led coalition bombardments across Sana'a this morning are reported to have resulted in multiple deaths, with 14 people killed in one building alone. The coalition has said the strikes were against strongholds and camps in the Yemeni capital belonging to the Iran-allied Houthi rebel group who control the city. The Houthis' deputy foreign minister has said 20 people have been killed in all, with at least a dozen more injured and many homes damaged. The UAE has said the strike was in response to a Houthi-claimed drone attack yesterday that killed 3 people near Abu Dhabi airport.
That's a BBC's Mike Thompson. The UN raising the death toll from twin earthquakes in western Afghanistan to 26. News and analysis, townhall.com. China, where the coronavirus got its start, says that parcels mailed from overseas may have helped to spread the Omicron variant.
Globally, health experts have stressed the virus mainly spreads through respiratory droplets when infected people breathe, speak, cough and sneeze. However, China has repeatedly emphasized the danger of infection from packaging and has boosted testing of frozen food and regular items shipped from overseas. Now state media reports investigators found people newly infected had picked up packages mailed from Canada and the US. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And the reports, or fears rather, that Saturday's volcanic eruption and tsunami near Tonga could have caused extensive damage and deaths on many smaller islands that have yet to be reached. More on these stories from townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to work for some.
Yeah.
In school.
First day of most of your weeks.
Yeah.
Second day of the rest of your life for the rest of us.
Yeah.
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 I was hanging out with a group of people over the weekend, and this one dude, I don't know if he was like going for a bit.
Yeah.
Or what? He has a really deep voice anyways, but he kept trying to do the trading spaces thing, where like at the end of like anybody saying anything, he would just go, yeah. And admittedly, it stuck. About halfway through the night, we had a lot of us doing it. But
just kind of going, yeah.
Any like random good or just moot point would be brought up. He would just look at everybody and go, yeah.
I see. If I was going to do that, I'd go full Kool-Aid Man and go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta appreciate that he leans fully into the bit that he was doing.
I guess.
I
yeah.
appreciate anyone who commits.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Although, if it's dying on the vine, sometimes you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Then again, timing is everything.
This is
you
true.
Bring it back right, if you give it enough time to breathe, when you bring it back, it's okay.
You can beat a dead horse if you wait a while.
Yeah, you just gotta let it rest a second. That's all.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're all having a delightful day so far.
Yes.
We got a kind of a weird week of weather, and today's kind of kicking off the events that trigger the weird week of weather.
It's like we've had the shortest winter season ever, and now it's like a preseason or like a tease to spring, and then it gets all weird again over the weekend.
Yeah, like today's supposed to be like in the 70s, but windy. But then like Thursday and Friday we got snow chances.
Yeah.
I think the high Thursday is like 37. It's weird, man.
What sucks being the bearer of bad news is I just wanted to look at you and be like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, we didn't make it happen.
I see the word snow showers used like Wednesday night, Thursday, and I think Friday or Saturday. But I don't see anywhere that says accumulation. So I wouldn't get your hopes up if you're looking for like school delays and things.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing that.
No, at this point, just snowpacked and icy. And honestly, I mean, do snow days, are they even a thing anymore now that you can just give out Chromebooks?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess
we'll find out when we get a snow day coming up where they're going to just keep everybody. I don't know. It depends on the Like I know they're doing the virtual day now, so I guess they only dole out the Chromebooks when they know they're going home. But if they don't already have the Chromebooks, unless they anticipate it and say, take these with you in case we don't have school tomorrow, I don't know how that all works. So I'm not qualified.
Like for the extra day that they had this not this last week, but the week before, I don't know if everybody got their Chrome. Like Rhiannon got a packet. Like she got just some worksheets and stuff.
Yeah, so maybe
she had her Chromebook from a previous, because she had the exposure and all that, so she had her Chromebook from that. But most of the students in her class just got like a packet.
Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. You have to ask my wife. I have no idea. I gotta barely keep my own world straight sometimes. So, but yeah, I have no idea how that works out. But either way, I don't think the weather's going to be that big of a problem. I think it's just going to be like, oh, we got some snow. Look at that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be enough to screw up the roads a little bit.
Probably enough to make everybody lose their ever loving mind.
Right.
That's a given.
Get ready for the Facebook posts.
But the unfun part is every time it talks about snow, everyone dashes to the store for BMTP.
Yeah,
bread, milk, toilet paper. That's the BMTP. That's but in the COVID world. Is that still a thing?
We've got 2 days worth of snow coming. I'm going to go buy a year's supply of toilet paper.
Quick, get some Fritos.
For real, though. I'm over here eating generic corn chips like a sucker. Oh, and no, don't even sit here and tell me they're the same. They're not the same.
How's Sonic getting their Fritos? Because they're like doing specials for Frito Pie burritos right now.
They got a deal. I'm sure they got a guy.
Are they just bragging at this point? What are they doing?
Yeah. Well, the CEO.
Oh, we got so many Fritos. We're gonna have a sale on Frito pies.
The CEO of Sonic just posted an Instagram video of himself in a bathtub just full of Fritos.
That's right.
The two Sonic guys are actually rolling around in a giant Frito now.
It's like Scrooge McDuck. They got a vault full of Fritos. They're just diving in.
Yeah, I would do a side-by-side blind taste test of regular corn chips to Fritos, like generic corn chips to Fritos, because I have a bag.
They've always been different.
Yeah, I have a bag of generic corn chips because I literally went to 2 different stores trying to find any semblance of Fritos. Couldn't find them, so went with the generics. And no, they're not the same.
No, they're not. Certain products are the same. Corn chips or not?
Now, in fairness, you can cover up a lot of hurt with chili cheese and diced onions.
Yeah, but if you're just wanting
still though,
au naturel corn chip, no, it's a much lesser quality product.
And it's funny too because being the father of someone on the spectrum, I have literally done like the 51st dates thing where like I got a jar of generic peanut butter. I don't think she's listening. I got a jar of generic peanut butter and took the label off the Jif that we had before.
Nice.
Put it on the generic peanut butter to the point where I forgot that it was generic peanut butter until I got to the bottom of the jar. I'm like, this is the generic, right?
Yeah.
The label didn't fit quite. So I've done that.
But the trick is, did
someone has to do it for me? Because if I know. Like if it's there, and I know
you have a tell and out yourself.
Yeah, almost. I'm as I say, I do a blind taste test. I'm wondering if it's not psychosomatic, like if it's not just my brain. Because
I think it is.
Well, because I know it's just corn chip, or corn oil, and salt. I get that, but there's something about the proprietary measurements of the ingredients that Fritos uses that just makes it different.
Yeah, maybe they got like a secret ingredient they leave out.
No, I think it's the ratios.
Yeah,
I think that's because that's always been their thing is Fritos, 3 ingredients: corn oil, salt.
Well, and this is where I don't know, because I know like the recipe for Fritos was like some like dude from Mexico.
Yeah,
and I think the Lay's company paid him like $100 for the recipe or something, and it's a very guarded secret that this. So I'm wondering if it's just people have been trying over the years to replicate, and this is the closest they get. I don't know, but it is a little different. The Frito version versus Sam's Choice or whatever's out there, or chips, but
great value.
Yeah, whatever it is out.
I don't care how great your value.
But
is.
it's different in other products. Like
it seems to be.
Like even like Coca-Cola products. You have your Dr. Thunders and all those.
Those
are
almost never the same.
No,
there are certain ones. There are certain generic products that I can almost always trust are going to be just as good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff in the aisles, like your spaghetti sauces, a lot of that, like the cookies generally have a very similar, like all the same ingredients. A matter of fact, I've actually seen videos where they talk about these companies like that make like Frito-Lay and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They actually produce the product for the generics.
Yes. That I knew.
To be released like as the generic
I know
version.
Coca-Cola makes, and then Pepsi, and these make some of these offshoot brands for grocery stores.
But I know this because I've done this. I know I can tell the difference between like a Dr. Thunder, a Mr. Pibb, and a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Dr. Thunder and Mr. Pibb might be hard, but I could easily tell between like a Mr. Pibb and a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, and I think that's where, they don't put the good, the high cost,
the highest of fructose corn syrup. They save their highest fructose for the good stuff.
The cheap stuff gets in the diet right or whatever. Down there.
Right.
Let me give you the rundown for today's show. I haven't done any of that. We probably need to get going, too. I'm going to replay our interview with Representative Greg Nybert. State Rep Greg Nybert joined us on the telly. Actually, you know what? I take that back. He was in the 7 o'clock hour, so I don't want to play that this hour. I apologize. We're going to play a different interview. We're going to play Tracy Fry.
Tanner?
I'm sorry, Tanner. That was my fault. It just dawned on me.
Should have jumped in his DMs. Tanner, you up?
Yeah, it just dawned on me. We're going to play our interview with Tracy Fry from the Roswell Public Library this hour. I'm going to replay Greg Nybert in the 9 o'clock hour. That way, it just dawned on me. Oh, yeah, I messed that up. I need to fix that. So we'll play Tracy Fry here in just a few. Donna Aracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us on the phone here in the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, and give us an update of what's happening at ENMUR. Around 8:45 or so, we'll have some of the folks in the Chaves County Extension Office join us. I haven't heard that they're not going to be able to make it, so I think they're going to join us today, give us an update there. I know I saw in the paper the other day, Tamara Schubert, she's the home resources, the home ec person. I don't know what the official title is. It's home resources, something. It's a fancy title. She was
HHIC, head homemaker in charge.
There you go. I like that one. We'll stick with that. But talking about some new programs and things she wants to introduce into there. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that with her. And then we'll play the Greg Nybert interview in the 9 o'clock hour. He joined us to preview a legislative session which gets underway today.
Oh, you tease.
Yeah.
You had us all salivating. Had my mouth all set up for some Nybert at the 7 o'clock hour. Now I got to wait all the way to the 9.
That's right. Although, technically, if you want to see it right this second, you can go to ksvptv.com and check it out at your leisure. You don't have to wait for me.
And while you're there, click on any one of the team tabs to follow along with your Roswell Coyotes, Goddard Rockets, or Artesia Bulldogs.
Yeah. Or check out a bunch of stuff from our archives.
Watch us eat at an MRE yesterday.
That's right. By the way,
waiting for you.
That taco stuck with me all day yesterday. I was burping that taco all day yesterday.
It messed with my my appetite for the rest of the day.
It kind of did too.
Because we basically consumed in just a few bites like the amount of calories for 2 meals.
Yeah, we probably had about 1,500 calories a piece.
Yeah.
In that short little bites of a taco and a couple bites of spaghetti.
But it was like 5 o'clock, like 5:30. I'd picked up the kids and stuff, and I was about to go home and make dinner and stuff, and picked up Rian's new glasses, went home and started making dinner. And it wasn't until like halfway through dinner I was like, I have not consumed a thing since the MRE this morning.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it triggered my head. I'm like, that's the only sustenance I've had today.
Yeah, I went home for lunch, wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Finally, I just ate a bagel. I was like, I don't get to eat till later. I better eat something.
Just
so
throw some in the throat.
I literally had a bagel, and then I went back to work. Hung out with my wife. She was off yesterday because Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So, But today, I'm going to eat.
Nice.
It's done passed through my system.
Yeah. It's worked its way out.
It's worked its way out.
I did save the gum.
Did you? I don't know if that packet.
In case, and I don't have this on authority, but I have this as word from someone who's, who
in the know,
was in the stuff. So she would know that gum also acts as a laxative.
Oh.
Because the meal itself is known to bind those up, and the gum has an added laxative that helps loosen the pipes.
All right. So
I got a couple of chiclets for you if you need if you need one.
I'll let you know about 8 o'clock here.
All right.
It is 7:18. Here is your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have low pressure crossing eastern New Mexico today, and that means gusty wind for us. We will have plenty of sunshine, our afternoon high going up to about 70, wind gusting at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Clear tonight, we drop into the upper 30s to around 40 and still windy, and then a lot cooler on Wednesday with our high in the mid-50s and sunshine. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35%. Winds currently out of the west at 12 miles per hour. For today, we do have a red flag warning that's going to kick in at 11 o'clock this morning through 6 p.m. today. That's because of the wind. Sunny, high of 73, but the winds are going to be up out of the west, 10 to 15 this morning. Later in the day, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 38. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, increasing clouds, cooler tomorrow, high of only 55. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. We do have a 20% chance of snow showers after 11 p.m. Wednesday night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 25 with northeast winds at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday, not a pleasant day. 20% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly sunny, but highs only expected to hit 37. East winds will be out of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear skies, overnight low of 18. Friday, mostly sunny, highs in the 50s, 52. Partly cloudy Friday night with an overnight low of 24. Saturday, we're looking at another 20% chance of snow showers. Mostly sunny, highs around 46. And then Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies, highs around 53. And then Monday of next week, we'll be back up around near 60. But 70s today, but getting a cool spell here over the next couple days. And who knows what we'll see on the snow there. All right, 7:20. Let's get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten, quick commercial break, and then our interview with Tracy Fry from the Roswell Public Library. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,160 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, all classes of cattle sold steady. 3 to 40 pound steers, 216, 228, 3 to 40 pound heifers, 182, 50 to 194.50. 4 to 500 pound steers, 193, 216. 4 to 500 pound heifers, 157, 182.50. 5 to 600 pound steers, 163, 193. 5 to 600 pound heifers, 146, 157. 6 700 pound steers, 158, 163. 6 700 pound heifers, 136, 146. 7 800 pound steers, 131, 158. 7 800 pound heifers, 130, 136. Packer cows 65 to 71. Canner and cutter cows 52 to 58. Packer bulls 80 to 90. Feeder bulls 72 to 75. Cow calf pairs not well tested this week. Top half the bred cows $1,000 to $1,325 per head. A real nice run of young black cow calf pairs for next week, and we do appreciate the business. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
It's a celebration. The Roswell Nissan New Year Savings Event is on. It's 2022 and time for a new ride. Hi, this is Mikey Reeves, new general manager at Roswell Nissan. Come celebrate with us and save big on new 2021 and 2022 Nissan Titans, Altimas, and Sentras. Plus, during Roswell Nissan's New Year celebration, get payments as low as $83 a month and top dollar for your trade-in. It's a New Year celebration at Roswell Nissan's New Year Savings Event, but hurry in. All offers end January 31st.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Don't miss out on all the high-flying action as your ENMU Greyhound men's and women's basketball teams continue their journey towards a bid in the Lone Star Conference postseason tournament. Your Greyhounds are home Thursday, January 20th at 5 and 7:30 p.m. versus St. Mary's, and continue their home weekend Saturday, January 22nd at 2 and 4 against St. Edwards. Tickets are only $5 per person. Kids 8 and under are free. Visit goeasternathletics.com for more information. Eastern New Mexico University men's and women's basketball. All in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Fry back with us. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, how was your New Year's celebration or ringing in the New Year for you?
Well, we had that New Year's Eve party.
Yes, at the library there. That's Saturday or the Friday before. Yeah.
And yeah, we had quite a few people come through.
Good. Ringing the New Year at noon.
Yes.
The noon year.
The little guys were in there dancing. It was fun.
Good deal. Got their little hats and just celebrating and having fun.
We had the little...
the streamer things or whatever.
You know, that thing that makes the noise.
Makes the noise and blows the...
We had the balloon drop. The balloons dropped, and I thought the kids would be throwing them up, but instead they were popping them.
Oh, yeah.
Before I could even get them out, they were popping.
I think we're training kids to think there's prizes inside balloons.
Well, they were disappointed.
And so they want to pop them.
Yeah.
When I was that age, I was wanting to keep the balloon for a game of keepy-uppy with my brother at the house later. Which, if you don't know what keepy-uppy is, that's when you run around the house and scare your parents while trying to prevent the balloon from touching the ground.
Yes.
And you keep jumping over the couches and everything in the house to do that, and that's why Mom gets mad at you.
Yes.
But your kids, you're like, we didn't have, growing up Xboxes and everything, so you got a balloon. That was hours of entertainment right there.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's a different world now.
Oh, yes.
But the kids had a great time, even if they don't know the true fun of a balloon yet.
They found their own fun with the balloon. I'll just say it like that.
I get the popping's fun, especially if you get to scare somebody and didn't know it. But keepy-uppy's I don't know. I spent many hours trying to keep the balloon from hitting the floor.
I don't know what was going on. All I knew, I was trying to get the balloon drop didn't kind of work, so I had to kind of shake it out.
Okay.
And I'm just hearing all this pop, pop, pop around me. And we had the confetti launchers, too, so.
Well, cool. So everybody had a good time.
Yes.
Good. And bring in 2022 here. So.
Oh, yes.
Very good. But that really means now that you guys kind of turn your attention to events and things that are happening here in the new year, which is a lot. There's a lot that's always going on at the library. For pretty much every age group. So if you're adults, there's a lot of great programs, things, events, meetings, things like that you can have. And for the young kids, you got your story times and things during the day.
Right.
When the older kids are in school, then there's after school stuff for your younger kids. Even for teenagers, there's things on the weekends or in the evenings. There's anything from computer stuff to just having fun with Legos and things like that.
Yes.
There's all kinds of stuff to get involved with as a family or as an individual at the library.
Yes, we just had Lego this past Saturday.
Good.
And we had quite a few people come in. And they said they heard it on the radio, so thank
Good.
you.
It gets more and more popular because every generation connects with Legos at this point. I think pretty much everybody on Earth grew up with Legos as a kid. I mean, they've been around that long where I'm thinking even grandparents and stuff like, yeah, I had Legos as a kid too,
Or at least stepped on it.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a few Lego wounds right here on my foot. But so we all know Legos and love Legos. And so that's, you don't have to, it's not a generational gap there. Everybody knows Legos. And so that's a great connecting point for families and things. And, mom and dad tell their kids, like, when I was a kid, we used to make these with Legos.
Right, right.
So and so those kind of nights. So we'll talk about those, but get a calendar each month from the library that way, and put it on your fridge or follow if you're more of an electronic person on social media and what have you. You can kind of stay abreast of the different events and things happening through the Facebook page. But that way, you're like, oh, when's the next Lego night?
Right.
Oh, look at the calendar here. Let's make sure we get the family and go do that.
Correct.
Very good. So I guess rather than just talk, we got a bunch. Let's start talking about some of the events that are happening here.
Okay, so of course on Fridays we'll have Crochet Club it can be all ages, but they meet at 3 p.m.
Okay.
It's mostly adults, but
if you got a love of crochet or
Come
want to kind of learn the art of crochet,
right?
Definitely. I found out over the Christmas break, I went and I told you stories about my mom and crocheting.
Yeah.
But my sister, my youngest sister, who I have two sisters that are still school age. It's a whole story.
Okay.
But anyway, my dad, they've all passed away, but my dad remarried in 20. But anyway. So I have two sisters that one's in high school, one's in 7th grade. So,
wow.
But the 7th grader, Callie, she is now taking up crocheting.
Oh, cool.
And so she was crocheting while I was, and so I told her before I left, I said, for next Christmas, I want you to crochet me an Afghan for Christmas. That's what I want as my Christmas gift. So I kind of did that to make her stick with it.
Yes.
I was like, I want you to stay with this because that's it. Reminded me of my mom, not that that's related or anything, but when you say that crochet, it's because I think more younger people need to get involved in these things because there's not as many. Like when I grew up, there was a lot of people that were crocheting, sewing, and over time there's been less and less of that. And I hate to feel that it's becoming a dying art form where people, like, if I can't order it on a line or have some. Eventually, there's going to be running out of people that still make the stuff if no one's picking up that tradition. So I love to see things like crocheting and things for younger folks, older folks, and maybe that bridge of a gap. Maybe you've got some folks who've been crocheting their whole life. Some younger folks come in and say, I would like to learn this. Or I remember my mother used to do this, and that was, I just love to see more people get involved, and this is a great way to do that. So.
Yeah, my grandkids make them all crochet them blankets.
Oh, cool.
So I have a little arthritis now, but it's done.
She's like, all right, maybe I'm gonna, maybe I think you gotta build a
the endurance.
Like calluses or something. It's because my mother, she must have had either arthritis crazy or she had just been doing it for so long that
just something.
It's just. Because she was constantly doing it. So but I never thought about that. But as soon as you say, I was like, how does she even bend her hands? Because she literally was on the weekends when she was, and then she was a medical transcriptionist as a day job. So she's typing all day too.
She had muscles there already from typing.
She had like Arnold Schwarzenegger hands, with these big ripped fingers and veiny.
She says, "Mike, come here."
That's right. I know. Your hands are on steroids. No, with that, but that's funny. So I got sidetracked there.
That's all right.
What's the date on the crocheting?
It's every Friday at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. every Friday there.
Yes.
So if you can't make it this Friday, no worries. Come on out next Friday.
Exactly.
And, whenever you have a free Friday, come in, start getting in. And hopefully the idea is you come every Friday, and now we got quite a little crochet group out there
right.
starting up projects or whatever they're going to do. So,
right.
Cool. What's next?
Okay, so this Saturday we're going to have a movie at the library.
Okay.
We're going to be watching Ferdinand.
Okay.
And that's at 2 p.m.
That's the bull, right? Ferdinand the bull? Yeah.
The one that likes the flowers.
Yes. Okay.
And so that's going to be at 2 p.m. We'll have popcorn. Everybody's welcome to come.
So bring the whole family, come out, sit and
Yes.
enjoy a movie there at the library. Free movie.
Yeah.
Free popcorn, I guess, too?
Yes.
All right. So come and enjoy some free popcorn, free movie, and bring the family and sit down and enjoy it and spend a little family time together.
Right.
Good deal.
Yeah. And, okay, we're closed on the 17th, which most businesses are anyway because it's Dr. Martin Luther
King Jr. Day, yes.
Right. Okay, the following Saturday, we're going to have board games.
Okay.
We moved we were doing things on Thursday, but we felt that we can get more people if we doing on Saturday.
Okay.
And so we're going to have board games from 11 to 2.
Okay.
And we just put out board games. You come and go event. So.
Okay. So what? Just grab if your family comes in or you and some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got there's the pile of games. Pick the one that
Right.
you want to play and have fun with it. Whether
Right.
Sorry or Clue or whatever's in the pile there.
Right.
Another thing I learned over this Christmas holiday. Apparently they make like the classic board games, but like miniature versions of them. Like something you can maybe play in the car or something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I saw like the game of Life was like that, and there was another game that was not Mousetrap, but something in that vein was, and it was kind of miniaturized, and I was like, oh, and I kept asking, I was like, because the game of Life one, somebody, my sister or cousin or one of the kids got it, and I'm like, so has it got like the little pink and blue pegs? And yeah, it's kind of had the same, but it's a little scaled back version, but it was
that's cool.
So
though.
I guess if you want to maybe teach younger kids the game of life, but don't want to get the full game of life already, this was like a miniature version.
Or if you're in a car and you're like driving like you're driving to Albuquerque, so the kids can be in the back playing that.
Yeah, exactly, and then you don't have to spread out the big board game and lose, take up half the space in the back to do it. So yeah, I just happened to see them over there. So.
Yeah.
The full-size board games will be at the library. You don't need the miniature version.
Yes, we have the full size.
Plenty of room to spread out and get a table and play a board game.
Yeah, you can stretch out, yes.
Very good. What's next?
Okay, so the week of the 23rd is Holocaust Remembrance Week.
Okay.
And so we were fortunate enough to get these free books. I forgot who we got them from.
Okay.
Shame
it's
on
got
me.
about Anne Frank.
So we're going to be offering the Anne Frank Diary of a Young Girl.
Okay. Now, that's not the diary. Is that her book, Diary of it? Okay. Okay. I didn't know if that was like a book about the book or is the book.
No, it's the actual
That's
book.
the actual Anne Frank book. Okay, cool.
And then Ellie Weisel's Night, we received a box of these books, and we're going to put them out. And if people are interested during the week of the 23rd, they can come in and pick up a free book.
Oh, great. I think if you have never read the Diary of Anne Frank,
they might need it for school also.
Yeah, that's worth a pickup. You know, I mean, obviously some age appropriate on this here. If kids are really young,
but the high schoolers, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And since we're just talking this real quick, if folks add this to your bucket list kind of thing, but if you ever get a chance to go sightsee in Washington D.C. A lot of people go to the mall and go see the Lincoln Memorial, Washington Monument, all the big ones.
Right.
Add to your list the Holocaust Museum.
Yep.
It's not part of the Smithsonian. It's there in the area, but it's not. So it's a little. It's not like the Smithsonian museums. You just walk in. I believe there's even a fee to go to it. It's a private museum, but it is one of the most powerful museums I've ever been in. I've never had an impact inside a museum like I did the Holocaust Museum.
I can believe that.
And it's because of the visuals.
Yes.
And it's not that it's gory or anything like that. It's just there's a lot of representations. And so like you walk through one room that's like 3 stories tall, and it's not a very big, as far as square footage room. It's 3 stories, and I think there's levels above, but or walkways above you. But you walk in this room and you're on the bottom floor, and there's just pictures, paintings on the wall 3 stories high, and every one of them is a painting of someone lost in the Holocaust. And then you look down, and there's pairs of shoes, like you're on a little bridge, and you're walking a couple feet above it, and there's pairs, and again, the pairs of shoes, each shoe represents someone, and to see it in those terms, you're just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a section where you're going through, and you're seeing the quote-unquote equipment that they're using to determine who's a Jew and who's not a Jew, and like the eye charts and the little hair things, and to see all that, and you're just like, this is real, and this is, you know, it puts all of the stuff you hear, and you really have trouble wrapping your head around, and it puts it into something that you can visualize, see, and holy cow, this was, you know what I mean? And so that museum, I've never had that kind of powerful effect in a museum before, and I've been in lots and love museums, but that one got me. I was like, wow. I mean, and how they do it is when you get in, they give you a little card of a person, and you can kind of look up as you're going through, and 9 times out of 10, the person that you get they end up,
of course,
dying in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I think I've seen 1 or 2 that they didn't, but most of the ones have all been passed on. So, but it's a highly recommended. I know we got off top. I got off topic again, but. Diary, if you never read that book, that's worth a read for folks.
This one is good too.
I haven't read that one. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, this one is really good too. It's short. Night is short, but
so it's a quicker read or something. Good deal. Excellent. So those are available right now or the week of 23rd.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll have them sitting out when you come into the library, so you can just go pick up one.
I guess in theory, if you want one today, you can go check one out if there's a copy available.
These are for you to keep.
Oh, these are keepers. Oh,
these are keepers.
Oh, okay, never mind. But if you want to rent it, if you want to borrow one,
borrow.
Blockbuster Roswell Public Library.
Yes.
No, if you want to check one out there and read it, and then maybe come back on the 23rd, have your own copy. That would be a great thing to do.
Yes.
Cool. Very good. What's next here?
Okay, on the 29th, which is a Saturday, is National Puzzle Day. So we're going to actually put out puzzles.
All right.
And if you're coming through, you can just
walk by and put a piece in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can sit for a while, put a couple of pieces in.
Yeah.
Till you get frustrated and you can leave.
Yeah. I doubt, maybe there's going to be one person that stays there the whole day and puts a puzzle together.
There normally is like one person, no matter what state you're in, that comes and specifically for that and puts the puzzle together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I love doing puzzles every once in a while, too. I don't have an obsession with it. Like, I know there's some people, it's like, I got to have a puzzle going. And I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, it's fun. And to me, that's a group activity. Like, it's, you know, I mean, you can do it by yourself and everything. But to me, part of the fun is, you know, everyone, like, usually if someone's prepping a meal or doing something, getting ready for holidays, and then like everyone that's not involved in that process is sitting around the kitchen table with a puzzle going, and everyone, you know, it's 3 or 4 contributing. To me, that's like the perfect puzzle scenario.
I used to sit and do a puzzle. It would take me a week or whatever, but and then I couldn't do anything else because I'm obsessed with this puzzle.
And plus it takes up acreage. Like, so if you put it on the kitchen table, pretty much all things you normally do on the kitchen table are out until that puzzle is. And then when you get it done, you're like, what do I do now? I don't know. I don't want to get rid of it.
I don't want to.
But I can't just leave it here sitting on the kitchen table for a month.
Leave it for a day.
And then I guess some people actually go and get them matted and framed and all that too, which is pretty cool. But
to each his own.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still popular, but there was for a while there where people would, after they complete the puzzle, they basically get it framed and hanging on the wall and say, hey, I got a piece of art for $5 or whatever the puzzle costs. So.
Yeah, now they're a little bit more, but
I guess depending on the puzzle.
Yes.
Good deal. But what day was the puzzle day again?
It's on the Saturday the 29th.
All right.
And it starts at 11 a.m.
So come puzzle with us.
Yes. If you like, you're more than welcome to come and puzzle with us.
And if you're thinking that's puzzling, well then come on.
Come over and check out what we're talking about.
It's not so puzzling once you see it.
Yes.
Very good. What's next?
Okay, we started this week because we still do our story times, our Mother Goose on Tuesdays at 10:30, and we call it Music and Movement on Wednesday at 10:30.
Okay.
And what we started with the younger kids is we asked the parents if they are interested in joining our Raise a Super Reader.
Okay.
So we have a little registration form. the object is to try to read to your kids 1,000 books before kindergarten.
Okay.
And so we're asking, we had a few people sign up already, and we're asking the first 50, the kid gets a free book.
Okay.
And they get a certificate. And if they actually complete all 1,000, they get a cape that says Super Reader.
Nice.
Yep.
So great. So if you want to, and that's great because we talk about this, you and I, and all the time. The more exposing your kids to reading, whether even when they're not old enough to read themselves, by you reading to them and like this bedtime story time, you show them the pictures and that's why kids always like the same 12 stories. If you ever notice when they're a kid, when they're at bedtime, and it's like, read me this one. It's like, I've read you that one 5 times. They've memorized it. They go, and that, to be honest, that's developing those reading skills. They're already associating the pictures and the things you're doing with the words in there. And so even though they don't necessarily know that word is elephant, they've seen it enough to associate, elephant. I recognize that as elephant. And that kind of speeds that process up when they start doing the actual formal training for reading on that, so.
And if you sign your kid up for this and you're reading and they keep asking you to read the same book 5 times, you can list that book 5 times because you read it to them 5 times. So
and we understand because they're kids. That's what they want. Yeah.
So it's easy to achieve goals.
Yeah.
Especially if you're reading all the time to your kids.
Yeah, and I know 1,000 books, but they're kids' books.
Well, we just break them out segments too, so it's not 1,000. The first 50, and after that it's 100.
Gotcha.
100. So every time they
you take it like break it into bites, basically.
Right, and they get a free book between the bites.
Good deal.
And they get the certificate.
And then you read the book,
bites.
and it counts towards the next book, basically.
And if they come to story time, they can write the titles down that we read.
Okay.
And that can be included in there. And that's what some of the parents did yesterday.
Good deal. So utilize the actual library story times and things to count towards those as well. Because, again, the whole point of this is to expose the kids to as much reading as possible to get them to where reading is just part of their everyday lives.
Yes.
And so when it's time for the actual training of it, they're going to embrace it. They're going to love it. And hopefully when they are able to read on their own, they're going to go and start picking up books and finding things that they like to read before teachers and everybody make them read things that they're supposed to read. So,
and like you said, and also like you said, elephant, it becomes a sight word.
Yeah.
That they know, they realize that word is elephant.
Yeah.
So those little words, you don't realize that they're picking it up, but they are.
Well, I mean, and this is weird, but I remember when I was a kid, this is one of those early memories that it was a Superman record, like at my parents, it bought me, and it was, and on the picture it had like the comic book Superman. It said Superman across. I couldn't read, but when I knew that, I knew that's Superman, and so. And it's a weird memory, but it's one of the few I remember from that early childhood. I remember seeing Superman, but not knowing it's Superman because I didn't know how to read yet, but understanding it just because of visual and putting the dots together, so to speak.
Mine was Dick and Jane. I remember us learning that. So I'm dating myself. But that's okay.
Well, mine was Superman. That could go in many directions because, it go from the 30s all the way up to modern times. Everyone had a generation of Superman. But yeah, it's so, regardless, I mean, even if you can't make some of the events we're talking about here, use this as a reminder to read to your kids. Either, even if you can't come to the library and do it formally, make sure you're reading every night to these kids. And just being on top of that, be actively involved with it, share, talk to the kids about the story, make them interact with you about the story, So
yeah,
good deal. What's next?
So I was told to let you. Oh, first of all, outside of our library on the north side on 4th Street.
Okay.
It's all tore up because there's a little construction going on over there, so that door you can't go through, and it's just that they're leveling. We had a cement roots were making it unlevel, so they pulled everything out. So this week they should be done by the end of this week, hopefully. So that little
so just go on the other side.
Right, we're open. It's just that
area is getting some work and probably should avoid walking around there.
Right, you can't even go through the door, and it's all dirt now, so you wouldn't want to walk through there.
Gotcha. Yeah, but they are open. They're just go around the other side there. But yeah, well, that's part of the one problem of having, because the library is right there, kind of in that, even in the historic district a little bit. So you got a lot of mature trees and things in that area, which is beautiful. But Mature trees have big, deep roots, and sometimes they get into pipes and things and things like that. So that's the mixed blessing there, I guess you could say a little bit. But
yeah.
Good deal. But please don't worry. Just go around the other side there.
Exactly. And then the courtesy of the friends don't help us get a new AWE learning computer. It's a game computer.
Okay.
And it's a learning game computer.
Gotcha.
And so thank you, friends of the library.
Friends of the Roswell Public Library. Keep supporting them by going to their Books Again store there and
on Richardson.
Yeah, on Richardson. It's moved a few times. Used to be there on Second, but now it's over on Richardson there. But that's if you're a reader, that's your Shangri-La, because literally people donate books. If there's books that are kind of out of circulation in the library but still functional as readable books, those will go over there. But whenever you go there and buy a bunch of books, all the proceeds from that go back to programs for the Roswell Public Library. Like when they have guest speakers or things and the refreshments and all that. Obviously, they got some funds here to pay for this computer. Right. So when you go buy books over there, that's what they do, or if you donate books.
And they have DVDs also, because we just donated a big old box.
All right, so if you're looking for some DVDs, go check it. It's kind of a hidden little treasure every time you go over there. If you're a collector or looking for like owner's manuals, Chilton manuals, those kinds of books, they usually have a wealth of those over there. If you love those kind of, or cookbooks, recipe books, those kinds of things. And then just a quick note, like I know we're just past the holidays, but usually around the holiday season, they hold back brand new items that were donated, and they'll kind of keep them and make them available online during the holidays there. I know we're out of that season right now, but keep that bee in your bonnet for future holidays here. So
yeah,
good deal. What else do we need to cover?
And last thing I need to cover is that we're installing new flooring in the young adult area.
Okay.
So if you come to the library, you go over there, you'll see the carpet is pulled up, but we're replacing the flooring.
Well, it's great. It's great to see that there's all this new stuff coming in and getting updates.
Yes.
Obviously, during COVID, the library was hit hard with that water pipe burst, and so that took a while to recover from. So it's just part of the maintenance of doing the building there. And but yes, so even though there's a little construction around the area, a little bit of stuff going on, please come on by, enjoy. There's still plenty of quiet corners for you to read your book or hang out.
This is a nice size library, so yes.
Yes. So if you're looking for just a quiet place to study, no problem. We got you covered.
Right.
So, very good. Again, follow the Roswell Public Library on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
It's two great ways to stay up to date on events and things. And a lot of times I'll post pictures and things. So if you go to some of the events, hey, come back and look. Maybe you're on some of the pictures there from the events and things. And then, of course, like we said, if you go to the front desk there, and pick up the monthly calendar.
Yes.
You can grab that and then put it on your fridge, and that way, especially if you got the young ones and you're looking for events and things to keep them busy, particularly like if they're doing like the remote learning days and stuff they're doing now, and you need some added assistance there. The Roswell Public Library is a definitely great resource to help folks, even for tutoring or extra work there.
And I just almost forgot to tell you that we restarted our STEM classes, so they are Wednesdays at 2:30. We'll have STEM classes.
Okay.
So every Wednesday you can come in. It's geared for grades third to fifth.
Okay, so middle elementary school age children, if you're doing science and things like that, and I know they talk about like rocketry and all kinds of great STEM related. So it's when you hear STEM, it's cool. They do the cool stuff to say kids what kind of cool STEM related careers and opportunities are available through STEM. So that's great, especially if you got kids that are maybe not really sure what they're kind of want to do and all those kind of things. And so this is a chance to get some of these third through fifth graders in and say, hey, this is what they do for the science and space and engineering or whatever particularly that topic is that day. These kids can get exposed to that. So it's
and the elementary schools do get out early on Wednesday, so that's why we did it at 2:30, because we saw a lot more parents and kids coming in.
Yeah. So that way, if you as parents are like, well, I can't go home with them yet. Well, let's go take them to the library and I'll finish up my day and do that. So,
right.
Cool. Very good. Did we get it all?
Yes, we did.
And good deal. And folks, come on down. Now, library is going to be closed Monday?
Yes.
For Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 17th.
And we're always closed on Sundays.
Yes. So, but regular hours outside of that?
It's normally Monday through Thursday, 10 to 7, and Friday and Saturday, 10 to 6.
Very good. But they will be closed this upcoming Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. The book, the drive-through drop-off is
always open
24/7. So you can drop off books even on Martin Luther King Jr. Day there, and no problem. They'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as always, appreciate the visit, Tracy. And
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time. And don't work too hard and look for more fun stuff happening at the library.
Yes.
And get out there. Have some fun. Come. There's so many things you can do in the library. And, of course, I know taxes, people are going to be thinking about that. Once again, when those forms come in and all that available, we'll let you know.
Right. I don't think they're in yet, but probably next time I come, hopefully they'll be in.
Usually around first part of February is when those start rolling in here.
Right.
Once W-2s and everybody get out to everybody there. So we'll probably talk more about that next time you're here. So awesome. Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is free and will take about 30 minutes to ensure your child's car seat is installed properly. It's a green light for a solar farm in Eddy County. The solar generation farm will help to supply Chevron's Permian Basin operations. Chevron recently won the bid for a section of state trust land. The project is expected to go on about 326 acres, 25 miles north of Carlsbad, near White City. ENMU Roswell is asking for $100,000 from the state legislature. The money would help fund an updated agricultural science degree. The ENMU Roswell Community College Board of Trustees recently approved the request for funding. Now, the Board of Regents will consider the request at their meeting on January 19th. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have low pressure crossing eastern New Mexico today, and that means gusty wind for us. We will have plenty of sunshine, our afternoon high going up to about 70, wind gusting at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Clear tonight, we drop into the upper 30s to around 40 and still windy, and then a lot cooler on Wednesday with our high in the mid-50s and sunshine. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. So we've got some small school basketball going on tonight, and that includes a team that's hardly played at all. According to our schedule, NMMI's girls are 0-2, and they'll be taking on Gateway Christian team that is well seasoned. The Lady Warriors are 9-1. That starts at 5 o'clock today. The NMMI boys will also be playing tonight, but that's against Ruidoso. NMMI is 2-3, Ruidoso 5-7. On the boys' side, Hagerman 10-0, playing at Elida. This should be a good game. Elida is 13-2. That starts tonight at 6 o'clock. Dexter playing at home against Cloudcroft tonight at 7 o'clock. And for the girls, the Dexter girls are 7-3, and they're at home against Cloudcroft. This is the beginner of the boys-girls doubleheader. Starts at 5:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The problem is growing in Los Angeles, where thieves continue to raid railroad cargo containers. Authorities say it wasn't immediately clear if a derailment that happened over the weekend was caused by the debris left behind by thieves in the Lincoln Heights area near downtown L.A. Union Pacific Railroad said the cause of the derailment was under investigation. Amazon's British website has backed away from plans to stop accepting Visa credit cards issued in the UK, saying Monday that the move has been put on hold while talks between the two sides continue. The online retailer said the change would not be implemented as planned on Wednesday. Amazon had announced the move in November, blaming the high fees Visa charges for processing credit card transactions. U.S. stock markets and most banks were closed Monday in observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
March 1st is the day I've been waiting for.
The Super Bowl is in February, honey.
No, on March 1st, we vote Mayor Kintai out of office.
Isn't that the truth? Roswell can do so much better than Kintai.
You think? On his watch, fees went up everywhere. At the adult center, at the zoo, even at the veteran cemetery.
Not to mention the murder rate has more than doubled the past 4 years. And Kintai proposed that $35 million public safety complex with no plan and no land. Thank goodness we rejected that boondoggle.
Well, luckily, Tim Jennings is running for Roswell mayor.
That's right. Tim's the man for the job.
Tim Jennings is a leader. He served Roswell honorably in the state senate and delivered.
He'll keep taxes and fees low and fight crime by putting more officers on the streets.
Mayor Tim Jennings. I like the sound of that.
Honey, I'm putting Vote for Tim on the calendar for March 1st.
It's a date.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Ladies and gentlemen, So Easy Sewing finally has our most popular sewing machines and sergers back in stock. We have the Zest, our entry-level machine, on sale for $149. We have the Amazing Jazz 2, which boasts a 12-inch throat, on sale for $7.99, and our number one selling Verve sewing embroidery combo machine on sale for $9.99. All machines include lifetime instruction on the use of the machine. Hurry in to 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell to claim your new machine before they're gone. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Senators are back in Washington today under some pressure to pass radical voting reforms being pushed by Democrat leaders. The Senate set to launch a debate today on changing long-standing rules in order to break a Republican-led filibuster that has stalled the voting measures. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris raising the issue of race in demanding the Senate pass a pair of so-called voting rights bills.
Harris took the occasion of Martin Luther King Jr. Day to call on the Senate to, in her words, do its job and pass voting legislation GOP critics say is aimed at stacking the deck in favor of Democrats in future elections. Harris insisted minority voting rights are under assault because of voter integrity laws passed in several GOP-run states, including Georgia. Unable to muster needed support from within his own party to end the Senate filibuster, Majority Leader Charles Schumer is expected to lack the needed support when he brings the bills up for a vote later today. Bob Agnew reporting.
From Maine to Georgia, people digging out from the big winter storm that dumped a lot of snow, spread a good deal of ice across a vast area, snarling travel and leaving tens of thousands without power. Forecasters say another winter storm could hit parts of the region later in the week.
We are watching a system that might try to come together across the mid-Atlantic later this work week into Saturday. But the specifics in terms of amounts and locations are just a little too early at this point to try to zero in on that. But that's something we're definitely watching.
And that's Zach Taylor at the National Weather Service. He has made it official. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio will not be running for governor. He's ended months of speculation by announcing that he would not be entering the Democratic primary in New York State. Watching Wall Street, a sell-off is underway this morning. The Dow is down 541 points, a loss of 1.5%. The Nasdaq, 256 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first box, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Fears that Saturday's volcanic eruption and tsunami near Tonga could have caused extensive damage and deaths on smaller islands that have yet to be reached. The BBC's Howard Johnson says the confirmed death toll is 2 so far.
The biggest concern is the international airport. It's covered in ash at the moment, and that's stopping humanitarian aid flights from landing. Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, is also saying that the ash is a big risk for contamination of water supplies, and that's why on these naval vessels there are bulk water supplies coming and a desalination plant too. Because of the lack of information, there's only a few satellite phones on the island. We really don't know the full extent of the casualties as a result of this tsunami and the ash fall.
The blast from the volcano could be heard in Alaska, and the waves crossed the ocean, causing an oil spill, as well as 2 drownings in Peru. News and analysis at townhall.com. Tesla is turning to Mozambique for a key element in its electric car battery. First of its kind deal aimed at reducing Tesla's dependence on China.
Elon Musk's company signed an agreement last month with Australia's Syrah Resources, which operates one of the world's largest graphite mines in the southern African country. It's a unique partnership between an electric vehicle manufacturer and a producer of the mineral that is critical for lithium-ion batteries. The value of the deal hasn't been released. Tesla will buy the material from the company's processing plant in Valdalia, Louisiana, which sources graphite from its mines in Balama, Mozambique. Syrah must prove the material meets Tesla's standards. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Australia reporting a record number of COVID deaths, and its second largest state has declared an emergency in hospitals to cope with surging patient admissions and staffing shortages as a result of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. And then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Well, that'd be the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to work and school for some. For others, it's your Tuesday.
Best get on it, doggone it.
Yeah. Warmer today, but windier. We got a red flag warning. It'll kick in here about 11 o'clock this morning.
Mike, why can't you just let us have nice things?
I don't make the weather.
Yeah,
I just
but
report it.
You come and just bear us with all the bad news.
Don't shoot the
Smack
messenger.
us about the face with it.
I want you prepared. So you don't walk around saying, man, where'd this wind come from? Oh, Mike told me about it on the radio this morning.
Mike Winters, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
It's right there in his name.
That's right. He did it. It's his fault.
Why can't he just be Mike Summers?
I know. Unfortunately, that
guy,
they already had
that
one.
guy's in Hobbs now. Malton's Jewelry and Gifts. It's the smart. I swear to God, that is still to this day why they use the slogan, it's the smart thing to do, was because of how he said it.
Well, I hear it is in my head
it's
that
the
way.
smart thing to do.
I'll never forget. And this is going back some years. After that guy, Mike Summers, is gone, I had to do an ad for Martin's Jewelry, but all in my head I heard was him. So I kind of made it that way, and they were like, why does he keep saying Martin's funny?
Martin's, yeah.
Because I kept doing that, like, Martin's Jewelry. You know, it was like, why is he saying funny? I was like, it's because that's how I hear it in my head.
Yeah, fun pullback of the curtain for you, for the normies, the civilians. When you've been doing this for long enough, script writing and whatnot, you tend to write scripts in the voice that you're used to hearing the spot and or like the person cutting the spot. Like to this day, whenever I write a Sutherland spot, I always write it exactly the way the guy always cut it.
Randy?
Yeah, with the drug out Sutherland. Like that's how I hear it in my head.
Sutherland. I hear Randy on ads all the time.
Yeah, he does pop up every now and again.
Yeah, I've heard him on a couple TV ads too.
I remember the first time that ever happened to me. We had a guy was doing our some of our imaging. Imaging is the sweepers, the bullets, the liners and stuff that you hear in between songs onto the radio stations. One of the guys that was our voices for that, he showed up on a Bowflex commercial. I was just watching TV and I just hear that guy on the commercial for Bowflex. I'm like, that's the dude.
Yeah. I remember hearing Randy do, I think it was a Pope Joy Hall ad.
Yeah.
It was something for one of their concerts a couple of years ago. And I'm like, and Randy's voice is very distinct. At least to me it is. You know, it's like, hi, I'm Randy. Now, I will tell you this, pull back the curtain a little bit more. If y'all remember the old Paul's Vet Supply ads from back in the day.
Yeah.
Howdy, Tony the horse here. People used to, they were the most polarizing ads. People would either love them or that's the most annoying. But you know what? You remember every single one of them. But Randy was Tony the horse, and he'd do the whole clapping like all I could think of is Monty Python. You know, the coconuts. Howdy, Tony the horse here. Tino the Garcat says hi. You know, and he'd do the clapping.
That's awesome.
and so his voice was very distinct, but he does other stuff. And I would hear him. Unfortunately, he's not part of the group that we have to do ads anymore, but he was for many years. And so Randy Johnson. Yeah, that's his name. Not the baseball player.
No.
He's a different Randy Johnson. I'm assuming that's a radio name. I don't think his original name is Randy Johnson.
Or Randall.
Maybe. But I got a feeling that's
Mom,
a radio
Dad,
name.
You guys really, you blessed your kid.
Yeah. There was a weird time, too, when I first started working for this company. And, like, all the DJ names on the country station were weird names, like, you know,
Just in Time.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
There was another one in there. I can't remember it. I have to go back and think and look. But there was another one that made me laugh. And I was like, those two should do a show together. Randy Johnson and whatever the other guy's name was. But I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. It was something equally juvenile. But
of course.
But I remember it. Oh, well. Let me give you the rundown. There was something I was going to say, and then it just slipped my head. So, sorry. Maybe it'll pop up about 10 o'clock this morning. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Good news, bad news. Mostly bad news. It's going to be warm today. That's good.
Ish.
Yeah. Well, 73. That's, it's January still. It's not bad. Just got
but the cold is going to come with the wind.
Yeah, we just got 30-mile-an-hour winds to go with it today, but
whipping.
Hence the red flag warning part. But we'll get you up to date on all that here in just a bit. And then about 8:15 or so, we're going to have Donna Oracion join us on the phone from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Fill us in on what's happening over at the college as they gear up to start. I'm guessing they're starting spring semester and all that here right about now. And so I'm sure we're talking all about that.
Actually, today, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's today. And then after news and all that, we should have the folks in the Chaves County Extension Office join us, give us an update on what they've got going on there.
I will say this. I don't know if all the forecasters do it, but specifically, I can't think of her name, Jennifer Nairmore. She's done it several times where she uses the term fire weather. Now, I understand what she's going for because we're under fire weather warning today, but I never hear any other forecasters say fire weather. I had to explain to Rhiannon what fire weather was because she was under the assumption that fire was going to rain down from the sky.
It sounds a little like a new natural disaster.
Like she literally told me to stop talking so she could hear the weather to make sure there wasn't fire in the forecast.
It's like a Sharknado coming there. Fire weather.
The first time I ever heard the term bomb cyclone, I bet it messed a couple people up.
Oh man, yes, we got a thunder hurricane coming.
Well, because her least favorite thing in the world is fire drills at school. She hates them. So
is it the loud noises and everything?
It's the loud noises.
I can hear that. I can get that.
So it's the combination of she thinks there's going to be fire raining down from the sky and also a fire drill at school. Just all the bad things.
I don't blame her.
Compounds themselves.
I don't want no fire weather either.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
The apocalypse is here.
Yeah, use red flag warning.
It would warm things up a bit, though.
It sure would. Although that's not normally a problem with us.
No, not around here.
Yeah. All right, 8:13. I'm going to ponder fire weather. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have low pressure crossing eastern New Mexico today, and that means gusty wind for us. We will have plenty of sunshine, our afternoon high going up to about 70, wind gusting at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Clear tonight, we drop into the upper 30s to around 40 and still windy, and then a lot cooler on Wednesday with our high in the mid-50s and sunshine. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 31%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. Red flag warning in effect beginning 11 a.m. this morning. That will remain in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Sunny today with a high of 73, but the wind is going to be the focus of your day. West winds 5 to 15 this morning. This afternoon, picking up 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 38. Winds will be a little calmer out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, cooler temperatures and increasing clouds with a high of 55. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, they're saying there's a 20% chance of some snow showers after 11 p.m., mostly cloudy otherwise with an overnight low of 25. Northeast winds at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday is going to be not delightful, just not delightful. 20% chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny. High of only 37 on Thursday with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear. Chilly, bundle up, overnight low of 18. Add a few extra logs to the fire that night. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs back into the low 50s, 52 on Friday. Friday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 24. Saturday, we are looking at another 20% chance at some snow showers, but mostly sunny for the day. Cooler, high of only 46. And then sunny with highs back in the low 50s on Sunday. All right, it is 8:15. We're going to take a quick 4-minute commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to have Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Vehicles ain't perfect and they're prone to bust, but you can always take them to a team you trust at Big O. Big O Tires. If your ride is broke, needs a fix, come on down, we'll take care of it quick at Big O. Big O Tires. Whatever the problem, we'll ease your fears. We got experience nearly 60 years at Big O. Big O Tires. You need skilled help? This ain't a mirage. There's a team of experts in our garage at Big O. Big O Tires.
Right now, come in and save $100 instantly on select sets of 4 tires from Hankook, Toyo, Continental, Nitto, General, Pirelli, Goodyear, and Nexen. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Not valid with other offers. Valid at participating locations. Expires 1/30/2022.
Get ready for the blowout. The New Year vehicle blowout is on now at Roswell Honda. Roswell Honda is so sure you're going to love your next ride, they're giving you a $2,240 incentive towards down payment. That means you can drive away today in a 2015 Nissan Rogue for just $234 a month, a 2013 Mazda 2 for only $145 a month, or an 01 Honda Odyssey for only $95 a month. Get a Bluetooth speaker and a 12-pack just for stopping by, and a free car vacuum with purchase. The blowout is on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Coming to the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia, New Mexico, Thursday, February 3rd, the Sons of the Pioneers. Like generations of fans who have enjoyed their unique style of music, you'll be amazed at their musicianship, mesmerized by their unique vocal harmonies, and laugh at their humor. The Smithsonian Institute has named the Sons of the Pioneers as national treasures, and 2 of their signature songs, Tumblin' Tumbleweeds and Cool Water, are in the Grammy Hall of Fame. They'll take you to the great American West in songs of prairies, canyons, night herds, gunfighters, horses, and wide open spaces. If you like the West and the American cowboy, you're gonna love this show. Sons of the Pioneers, live in concert February 3rd at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. Tickets are only $35 for adults. Children K through 12 are only $25. For seat and selection and ticket purchasing, log on to ArtesiaArtsCouncil.com. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have 1 pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, Donna Oracion back with us. Good morning, Donna.
Good morning, Mike.
How's, I know today's kind of a busy day for everyone out there as classes. The spring semester officially gets underway today at the NMUR. So I imagine there's a lot of people trying to get the lay of the land, get figured out, get settled in for the semester. So probably a little chaotic there this morning.
Yeah, it's always the first day is always exciting, but always, like you said, a little bit chaotic. You know, students finding their classes if they haven't been on campus very much, if they didn't take a tour or anything, they're getting their classes set, and instructors, you know, welcoming their new students. And of course, we have online and on-campus classes. So trying to make sure that all the classes are accommodating students with our, you know, mask requirements and things like that.
Yeah.
Trying to adapt to our new our new reality, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. How is for this semester? Is it kind of a hybrid deal with some online, some in person, or what's the lay of the land this semester?
Right. We are offering, you know, continuing to offer on-campus classes. So there is a good number of our classes that are face-to-face, and then some that are continuing online as well. So a good combination, because we know that a lot of students do prefer face-to-face classes as opposed to online. Their learning style is better suited to that. So we want to continue to offer those. So we are offering those on campus. And, we just, as I mentioned before we came on the air, that we have a lot of just shifting of students maybe, dropping a class, adding a class. You can do all that through this Friday. Yeah. So there's still time if you are still really, 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 wanting to attend this spring and procrastinate as much as you possibly could.
So at this point, could someone that's not enrolled in the university get in for the spring semester, or is it too late for that?
No, you can still, submit an online application or come straight into our Student Services Center.
Okay.
And the application is very simple, and just make sure that, we check your status. You've completed your high school diploma or GED, and then getting you in a class that is still open. And, of course, you do have to make your payment arrangements if you're not on financial aid. So you have to make sure that you have paid, because we want to make sure students that are in classes are not taking up space for students that can pay or have paid. So we set up payment plans, and we try and do as much as we can to find a way for a student to pay for their courses. And then, as we've mentioned before, there's still a wide range of scholarships that are still available. And, for instance, our foundation scholarships, the deadline is February 4th, so there's still time to apply for those scholarships as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing is even if you're not on board with all those right now, get on board now. So when the spring or the fall semester rolls around here, or summer semester, you're lined up and ready to go with the scholarships and getting that money in place for the next semester.
Right. And if you go on our homepage, if you scroll down below the photo, we do have just a heading that talks about scholarships available for spring 2022. And if you click on that, you can scroll through and see the many scholarships that are available and what the requirements are and what you might be suited for. And so there's a lot available if you take the time to look through them and apply. So we really do encourage students to apply for those. So
absolutely,
yeah, we're excited for the spring, and hopefully we'll have a good, smooth semester, and we won't have too many interruptions, whether it's COVID related or weather related or anything like that.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Right.
Well, and one thing, especially for if today's your first day of classes and your first time attending Eastern New Mexico University Roswell here and going to college and all that, don't forget that there's a lot of resources to help you. You may not need them today because you think you got it covered, but here in a couple weeks, when you're full into the class and you're like, oh man, there's a lot to take in here. I'm kind of getting buried a little bit. There's a lot of resources on campus to help you navigate through that. If it's not directly through your professors and things, there's a lot of through the student services and stuff, different aids and things to help you with the educational side of it. So it's going to happen. It always does. There's going to be a time where you feel a little overwhelmed and everything. There's a lot of resources to help you navigate through those. So please utilize them. That's the difference between success and failure sometimes for folks.
Right, exactly. And in our Success Center on campus, which is in our Learning Resource Center, we have a lot of tutoring available. Just if you want to, you can make an appointment, or you can just pop in and say, I need help with this math class or English or science class, that sort of thing. And our instructors are very good about setting office hours, and you can talk to them after class, or whether it's in person or online.
Mm-hmm.
You can email them. Some instructors give you their cell phone numbers. It just depends. So we really do encourage students to take advantage of all of our support services, as you mentioned. So,
absolutely.
And then we have, co-curricular activities that we do throughout the semester, just things to encourage students to get involved on campus. And we just had a Martin Luther King event. We'll have some other events coming up, just to encourage students to get involved as much as they can with student clubs, or just getting involved in campus in general. We have intramural activities.
Well, and that's the college is more than just. I mean, yes, the main goal is to get an education. Absolutely, that's main goal number one. But college life's supposed to be fun too, and you're kind of for some it's transitioning from teenagers to adulthood, but others especially at Eastern, which is a community served college. Yeah, you're going to find adults that are kind of past their college years here and all that. But regardless of your age, you can still enjoy the college experience and go and participate in things that aren't necessarily for class. There's a whole social element to it. Even in the COVID world, there's a whole social element to college that really can help navigate through the hard times too. There's strength in numbers. When you got multiple people struggling and stuff, and through some of these social organizations and things, you'll find friends and partners that can help you navigate through some of the other stuff too. So
right.
It's all part of that. That's kind of the whole experience. If you're only doing one facet, I mean, yeah, you may get what you want, but if you're trying to go for a degree plan or something, and especially if you're transitioning the high school to college, and single person, wanting to start the family and do all that at some point, now's the time. Get in there and make the friends and get involved with some of these activities. Who knows? You might find your next passion or hobby or interest that's outside of your curriculum.
Right, and we understand that we don't have the big college, collegiate football games and basketball games and sororities and fraternities, but we do have a lot of other activities, and it's on the more intimate, personal level. We want to make sure students meet other students and maybe don't get into their small groups. They expand their horizons and their social circle, that sort of thing, as much as we can, so that they can meet students with different interests and people they would never have met otherwise. And so that's where you make your friendships and lasting relationships. So we do try and get students to branch out a bit and work through the community service projects and a lot of different things. So it does make your college experience a little more full and enriching when you kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit. So we try and help students do that as well. And that's part of our mission. We're a community college, and we want to make sure that students don't feel like they've been shortchanged just because they didn't go to a big university. Sometimes their experience is much more satisfying and enriching when they go to a smaller college.
Yeah, so absolutely.
We really try and create that environment for students. So yeah, we're really excited for the spring. And one thing we do have coming up, which working through the Department of Health again, there is a mobile vaccination clinic that's going to be around the Travis County this week. And on Saturday and Sunday, on our campus, even though our campus is closed, it's a van that will be parked in our parking lot at our Performing Arts Center, and that will be Saturday the 22nd and Sunday the 23rd from 10 to 5. They will be there with the boosters with Pfizer for those 12 and older, and then also the kids 5 to 11. So you can get your initial dose or your second or your third booster dose. It's free. No ID is necessary, no insurance is necessary. So if you're still thinking about getting a vaccination, just an opportunity, they will be parked on the campus parking lot Saturday and Sunday.
Very good. So if you need number 1, number 2, or the booster, they've got you covered. And like I said, they're doing the children and everything. So
right. And, we're not requiring vaccinations on campus, but
encouraging.
We encourage that. But again, we know it's a personal choice, but we do require masks on campus, and that is a continuing requirement that we are continuing from the fall. We do provide masks, and we also just placed an order for some new masks that have even more protection. So we'll also be, once we get those in, distributing those to our students and staff. And again, anytime you're indoors on campus, you will be required to have a mask on, and that's in class or just in a building. Of course, outside it's not necessary, but we know it's maybe not the most comfortable thing to wear for an hour or so. But
and your policy at the college is basically what what the state mandates at this time, and that's what the state's mandating at this time. So
right, exactly. So and just encouraging. We're trying to keep spacing, and it's not a hard and fast. The 6-foot rule is not enforced completely, but we encourage smaller gatherings and that sort of thing.
If that's if that's really a big issue, the weather will be nicer here pretty soon. There's plenty of nice places to sit outdoors at the campus and get your work done and mask free, and you can sit under a tree or sit on a bench or sit somewhere and enjoy the weather and get some work done.
Right, and we are we have our new Reaching for the Stars sculpture that we've got now installed on campus. There'll be some landscaping and things put around that. We've got our automotive welding technology building that is being finished, and I was in there week before last, and they're making really good progress. That's going to be a really nice modern facility. Of course, our new physical plant building is open, and our old Quonset huts have been demolished. So if you go on Massive Street on the south side of campus, you'll see that all cleared away. It looks completely different. So you can see the new building. Now they're not blocked. The new building is not blocked any longer with the Quonset huts. So those are all gone. So we have a lot of, we have some other construction projects that will be coming up. So we're opening infrastructure changes and improvements and a lot of activity otherwise. So we're continuing with all of that and making the campus as nice and modern and up to date as we possibly can.
Awesome. Hey, while we're talking about opening things and statuses, that kind of stuff, the Eye Center, is there any restrictions on? I mean, obviously wearing masks up, but as far as the public getting memberships and being a part of that, is there any restrictions there with COVID, or can people still get memberships and do work and things at the Eye Center?
Well, our Eye Center is really restricted right now.
Okay.
It's not open to the public at the moment.
Okay.
We're just working through some staff changes and some equipment issues, and so we're really going to just limit that right now to staff and current students.
Okay, so it's in-house for the moment, but
so
that should change sometime soon here.
Yeah, once that changes, we will let people know, but unfortunately now it's not open to the public at the moment.
Very good. Yeah, I just wanted to get an update on that. I knew that there were some restrictions there, but I didn't know if that was starting to open back up yet, but coming soon.
No, not yet.
Okay.
So hopefully in the future, but we'll be announcing some new community workshops that we have coming up through our Center for Workforce and Community Development. We have some new classes, kind of short-term workshops we're doing. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to share the details just yet. I don't want to misspeak on all of that, but we'll be getting that information out fairly soon. We'll be doing those in early spring, and then of course we have a new agriculture program that's gearing up. Mm-hmm. The classes will fully start in the fall, but we're getting all of that ready, and some of the prerequisite courses can be taken now. So a lot of new things that we're trying to do that we'll be getting the information out.
Okay. Also, while I got you here, an update on the ENMUR Foundation. Do they have anything planned for the spring as far as fundraising or anything like that? I know the golf got kind of moved to the fall, didn't it? Or is that in the spring?
No, we're back. We're back in the spring.
Okay.
So we had our banquet in the fall. We had it in December.
Okay.
So we have it earlier in the fall, but we're keeping our banquet in the fall, and so our golf tournament will be in April. And I believe it's the very first Saturday of April.
Okay, so mark that on your calendars for your golfers and stuff. And I imagine here in the coming weeks you'll probably be able to register pretty soon and all that good stuff. So
right, we'll be gearing up that. The planning for that next month, but yes, we will be having our golf tournament at the NMMI golf course in April, and that will be a good fundraiser for us.
I will tell you, yes, it kind of, around spring, it kind of starts to get to tournament season with a lot of various organizations doing golf scrambles almost every weekend from April till like October. But I will tell you this, the ENMUR Foundation one is one of the more popular ones, and I'll tell you because the swag, the perks, the organization's great, and there's a lot of great ones, but like the food is pretty good. You know what I mean? It's just usually they kind of step up their swag a little bit so to entice more people to golf. So if you're looking for a good one with good eats, the foundation one's a pretty good one to participate in.
Right, and we're probably one of the very first tournaments that is scheduled in the golf season here. So again, we want to make sure it's not too cold. It might be a little brisk in the morning, but we're one of the first tournaments that kicks off the golf tournament season in Roswell. So, and again, it will be April the 9th. Yeah, I was looking up on the calendar.
Okay, very good. And now I got one more very, very important question. I'm laughing, so take it in jest. I know this for a fact that the food services at the college, they put out a great breakfast burrito. It's on point, top. Well, in case folks didn't know, that same company is now doing food service at the air terminal.
Exactly.
And I heard some people raving about their breakfast burritos at the airport the other day.
Oh, okay.
And so now I'm like, what happens when you're at the South End? You're close to the campus, so you probably get a burrito there, but do you like say, I'm going to venture? I mean, you're like, hey, are they giving us better burrito? You know what I mean? Are they holding out on you guys and doing something over there? Or are they the same? Or they're competing against themselves here. Who's got the better burrito in the South? I mean, South end of town here. I mean, that's a serious debate. I didn't know if that was entering into the halls of the college there or not.
Right. Well, no, it's Summit Food Services, and they do a great job on our campus with catering. They catered our foundation banquet and did a great job, and they catered our return to campus in-service meetings. They do a lot of great catering work. But yeah, we do have great breakfast, and it's open to the public, so anybody can come in and get it to go. Right now, it's mainly to go orders. You can either call in advance, or you can just go in and order. They have great breakfast burritos, but they have expanded to the airport.
Yeah.
And so they're doing both.
Okay. So I didn't know if you did like the Pepsi challenge and tried one at each and see if they were holding out on you or something.
But someone could try it. They could compare. They could get one at our cafeteria and then one at the airport restaurant and see which one's better. But they should be about the same.
Yeah, they're both. I know I've had the one at the college and it's excellent. The other day, someone was telling me the ones at the airport were excellent too, and I was like, "Oh, really? Good. Well, I wonder if it's the same one at the college or is it a different one?" So
no, they're all the same, but I know the staff was really excited to expand to the airport restaurant. I know all the travelers out there. It's really nice to have some food service back at the Air Center again. So it's a nice option. But
yeah, if you're flying out, get there early and enjoy a meal before you head out. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're fortunate that they can do both. They can serve our campus and they can serve the air travelers as well in Roswell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If folks have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to call the campus or get onto the website, roswell.enmu.edu. Like you said, you got this week to transfer and change classes or do any of that stuff, or even get in last minute here in the spring semester as well, but you might want to do that today. Don't wait till end of the week.
And if you want to, again, our Student Services Center is the place to go for all of that kind of advising and registration activity. But you can also just call 624-7294 is the advising center number. Or if you go on our website, there is a text number that you can text. It's 575-404-1308.
Okay.
And you can just text your question and you'll get a response, whether it's about registration or financial aid, that sort of thing.
Perfect. Donna, is there anything we missed? Anything you wanted to share that we just got sidetracked on?
No, I just wanted to, again, remind people we are a year community college, and we really appreciate the support all through the year, and we're looking forward to a good spring semester.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for ways to improve your future, please log on to their website, roswell.enmu.edu. See all the programs that are offered to you through this college. I will tell you this, because really we're blessed because we're where that college is located, and being a former military base and all of that, it brings a lot of unique opportunities to this college that many colleges of that level do not have. You know, it's not often that you can get your pilot's license at your local schools, you know, or things like, or drone technology, or the nursing and automotive programs are top notch. And all of that's right here in your backyard. So check out the website. Read it. If you're looking for, you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you want to do something, to make your life better, the college is definitely your friend and has many, many opportunities for you to do that. So check out the website. Do some digging today.
Right, and I did want to mention, you mentioned that we are also offering an adult education entrepreneurial program that we also have information on the website. It's a class for 16 to 24-year-olds. You get paid. It's a free program. It helps you with your enrollment in the workforce. And again, you can find more information about that. The classes do start January 31st, and you can call our adult education program, which again is another resource on campus to assist you with getting your GED or high school equivalency, and then some other opportunities with workforce connections and the Workforce Development Board. So there is another opportunity there as well.
Awesome. Very good. Well, Don, I'm sure you got a bunch of stuff to do, so we'll probably let you get back to it.
Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate the time.
Anytime, and we'll talk to you next time. And if we need to do it sooner or we got additional, please give me a holler, and we'd love to make that happen for you.
Yes, that will be great. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Donna. Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Yeah, class is underway today, but you got this week to make changes, or if you just slept on it and said, hey, I want to enroll, well, get on down to the college, get her done. You got this week to make all that happen. All right, it is 8:42. Let's go ahead and pause for some news. Quick break as well. We'll also probably do your town hall business. We should have the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us in just a bit. I'm not sure if they're here yet or not. I'll give a check on that. But quick news update and quick break. We'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. A car seat clinic is scheduled for Artesia February 19th at Fire Station number 2. Hours will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is free and will take about 30 minutes to ensure your child's car seat is installed properly. It's a green light for a solar farm in Eddy County. The solar generation farm will help to supply Chevron's Permian Basin operations. Chevron recently won the bid for a section of state trust land. The project is expected to go on about 326 acres, 25 miles north of Carlsbad, near White City. ENMU Roswell is asking for $100,000 from the state legislature. The money would help fund an updated agricultural science degree. The ENMU Roswell Community College Board of Trustees recently approved the request for funding. Now the Board of Regents will consider the request at their meeting on January 19th. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So yeah, I used the savings from switching to Progressive 50 years ago to finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. You know, because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:45, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert back with us. I always mess up your title. Home and something agent. What is the official title?
Family Consumer Sciences.
It's not home at all. I think it was formerly home.
It was home ec agent before, and it got changed.
I haven't made that transition in my head. It doesn't just work there. But anyway, the title may be different, but your scope of expertise is still the same.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Tamara. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good. Of course, I think this is kind of a busy time of the year for you for start of the year because this is usually that time where people start getting, to thinking about, being healthier and doing things. So folks reach out to you more, wanting to get involved with some of the opportunities through the extension office, whether it's through the diabetic cooking classes or some of the new stuff that you're kind of working into the system here now. But I think this is probably one of the busier times of the year for you as the I already botched it. I was going to say home ec agent, but you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. As a whole, the whole agent office has been extremely busy. We're full now, and so all of us are jumping.
That's right. You have a fully staffed. You got a new ag agent in.
We do.
I don't think we've met yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
He hit the ground running. Okay. So he's been out doing house calls and lots of stuff. So if you've got problems with plants or ag or anything else, pecan weevils, give him a call.
He's your pecan weevil expert.
He is.
He knows a lot about nuts.
And more ways than one, probably.
Oh, that's pretty good. But yes, he's in place full time. So you and Andrew don't have to go look up the answers to the questions people have. He's there to actually, have that information.
He is there, and he is great at it. So if it takes a house call or you bring in a plant in, he's got the answers for you.
Very good. And of course, if you have any questions about some of the other ag stuff, the classes, I know one of the big things you guys do is a lot with the pesticides and all that, those classes and things. If you have questions, more information about that, he'll be happy to get you information there and talk about when those are all happening. And I don't know. I know with COVID, those kind of switched to online classes versus going to a thing once a year and all that.
Some of them are online, and it just depends on whether you're applying for the first time for your application and license or renewals.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. But if you have questions about that, come and talk to the new ag agent.
Yes, sir.
Happy to. So let's talk about. I saw, like I was telling you before we went on air here. I saw an article in the paper, and it was about some of the new programs that you're implementing here since you've taken over at the extension office.
We are. So we still have our kitchen creations classes and stuff like that, but we've been working with NMSU's Cancer Research Institute there in Las Cruces. And so we are looking at some programs to do nutrition and health classes with those that may be diagnosed with cancer or recovering from cancer. So, the foods and recipes that they can do to help them through that process.
So learning about maybe like superfoods that are more beneficial to the body when you're dealing with cancer and things, I imagine, because if you think about it, I know we as humans think, our body, we have our wants, desires and all that. But at the end of the day, if you think of your body as a machine and you look at it and if something's in there or impacting the machine, you want to put things in there to help give you the strength and the ability to give your body success in fighting those same things. And obviously with cancer, you're going to be under your treatment programs and everything else, but there's certain foods and things could probably help with recovery time from chemo to just giving your body more antibodies and things that'll help along with your treatment, keep the cancer at bay. So there's a lot of, and religious, not religious, there's a lot of natural foods and things out there that God put out here that really do help us with some of these health issues and get a chance to learn about this stuff. And who knows, that could be that difference between beating cancer and losing to cancer.
Well, and they also have some cancer prevention stuff too.
Okay.
Foods and stuff, if you've
stuff
got
to
risk,
avoid to getting if you're a risk or something to help reduce that risk.
Right.
Gotcha. Very good. Because I imagine I don't know enough to know about any of this science stuff. Hence, I'm a dumb DJ. But I would imagine, when you talk about certain foods, like they always say avocados are superfoods, but really there's a lot of beneficial things in there that really help promote your body doing good things. So,
right.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking at on some of that stuff. So if you're, obviously if you're planning to have cancer, you're probably not going to talk. Usually people that are already diagnosed are going to talk to you about this. But in essence, if this is something your family's going through or have a history of, maybe a call to Tamara here and saying, you know what, maybe we should look into some of this stuff, especially if you have a family history of cancer, and you can do some of the preventative side. That could be a saving grace for some folks.
Right. And so if they're interested in any of that programming, give us a call.
Okay.
Let's see what we can get set up. It's a new one, so I don't have specific dates set up right now.
Okay.
But if they're interested in it, give us a call.
Sure. You're kind of gathering interest and gathering demand, which we know is out there. It's just getting the word out to people that that it's available.
Yes, sir.
What about with the diabetic classes and all that stuff?
So that one is scheduled for March for
Okay.
Tuesdays. So if they're interested, they can register right now.
Okay,
and
now's
they
the
can-
time to do
yeah,
that, too.
yeah.
Don't wait till March. Do it now.
Yes. So call the office or they can do it online, either or, and
Okay.
we'll get their information. Then as we get closer, we'll send them some information.
Okay. I also know one of the other things that you guys have done in the past was kind of the support group with I don't think it's necessarily diabetes, or maybe it is, but it's more about weight loss and everything, where you have the group that's kind of there for a year and they support group and they check in with you. Is that still
So
happening?
a couple of other things that we've got going on is we do have a Strong Women, Strong Bones class.
Okay.
So it is exercise based.
Okay.
We have 2 of those going on in the community right now. And then our ICANN educator, which is Ideas for Cooking and Nutrition.
Mhm.
So we have a full-time educator in the office.
Okay.
And so she's got a program coming up next month that's called Eat Smart, Live Strong.
Okay.
So it's geared towards our older populations, but
Okay.
it ties exercise in with nutrition
Okay.
to give them the things that they need to work on their balance or their stability and
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah. So it gives you workouts that obviously aren't set to try to sculpt the guns and all that
Sure.
stuff, but to strengthen your core, to keep your motor skills active. And so it's
Prevent
like any
falls, things
yeah,
like that. Mhm.
Yeah. The more movement you do, the more stretching you do, the more and stuff like that, the better your body's going to handle, and less times you trip over things, bump over things, or just navigate things differently.
Right.
It doesn't hurt so much when you go up the steps and things like that. So yeah, these are great. Please reach out, and that's a great thing about this. We're in our community. This stuff's all available to you. Information's free. Some of the classes and stuff are very affordable, limited cost type things. So, and some free to boot. It just depends on what you sign up for and what you do.
Right. Those 2 programs right there, the Eat Smart, Live Strong, and the
Mhm.
Kitchen Creations, both of those are free to the ones in the community.
So if you have a need there, please, but sign up early.
Yes.
That's the key. These classes do tend to fill up pretty quick because, well, there's a lot of folks that could use some advice and some help out there. So, be proactive and get it done maybe this week or next, and that way you're locked in, you're ready to go when these classes start coming around here in the spring. So, good deal. Any 4-H stuff we want to? I know Andrew's not here, but anything on the 4-H side we want to?
Enrollment's still open until March.
Okay.
We've already kicked off with some 4-H programming and stuff. So
Okay.
the quilting kids are having classes this month, along with the sewing kids and knitting. So that has kicked off, and Andrea's got some programs scheduled next month as well. Shooting sports safety classes have already started as well. So get those enrollments in.
Very good. Yeah. And that's the beauty of 4-H. And I say this every time Andrew is here. Most people think of farming and ranching, and sure, that is very much at the heart of 4-H. But there is so much more to 4-H than showing animals and farming and ranching. Like you said, shooting sports, computers. I mean, there are so many different paths you could take through 4-H, and none of them have to do with a farm or a ranch or an animal. And so if that's not your thing, I mean, animals and stuff, you can still be a part of 4-H and get valuable skills, especially for if you plan on going to college someday. And, regardless of what career field you pursue, there's a lot of just offset skill sets that will serve you well in life that, like you guys do parliamentary procedure, things like that. These are, yeah, you don't use those on a daily basis, but there's going to be a time in your life that you're going to need them. You're going to need this stuff, and it sure comes in handy when you have it.
That's right. In fact, we've got a group of kids headed this weekend to a leadership conference.
Okay, good deal. So they're going to be going, and do they do like debating different topics and things? What do they do when they do some of these?
So the leadership conference, they have a section of 8 workshops that they can do.
Okay.
This one happens to be at the University, New Mexico State. And so they'll have some classes that are put on by their professors and stuff as well.
Okay.
But we have a great new project that's actually coming out of New Mexico State called Aggie Next Step.
Okay.
And it's available for kids in the 8th grade on up.
Okay.
And it prepares them for some of those skills that they need to enter the workforce.
Okay.
Lets them explore some careers through New Mexico State University as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's where I think 4-H and really the whole extension office as a whole can help really anybody with is sometimes we don't learn skill sets that you just need every day. You don't, you know what I mean? You don't get exposed to it, so you don't really know about it. And like I think of just like adults nowadays and things, and technology's changed some of this, but like, growing up, you were taught how to write a check and how to, just basic day-to-day things. And I think the 4-H and the Extension Office, they do an amazing job of just reminding folks, no, this is how, this is how we normally do these things. And even though you weren't exposed to it or it's not familiar to you, now we can bring that. So like you say, those life skills, and, you think, I've never been learning about how to balance a checkbook or balance a bank account or anything like that. And some parents are very meticulous about teaching. Others are like, I'm no better than you are at this stuff, So to have that opportunity for people to learn those things. And then again, that's those differences between success and failure. If you got the vision and got the desire to do it, but you don't have the actual knowledge of the way to do these things, then that could be that stopping point for somebody.
That's when you give us a call.
And then you call the Extension Office. I know I'm getting a little windbaggy on this, but I do want to, realize these are great opportunities for folks, and think about it. If you're looking at your life and saying, I'm not happy about this or this, do something about it. There's lots of resources to help you do it. The Extension Office is one of those.
Yes, sir.
So reach out. And
Absolutely.
Of course, like you said, if you got work-related ag, why is this nut this color, or what's going on here, or these weevil leavings? What do we got going on here? Pecan weevil leaving, and the ag, they got you covered.
We do.
Good deal. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share other than we got to give the contact information? But is there any events or programs or anything we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now, if you want to talk to somebody, anything we just talked about, whether it's 4-H or ag stuff or home economics related signups here, don't hesitate to come by or call the Extension Office.
Absolutely.
What's the phone number over there?
622-3210.
Yep, and it's I never remember the exact address. It's on Chisholm there.
200, suite number 4.
Yeah, East Chisholm, I believe, suite 4. And of course, don't forget, the Chaves County Extension Office is through New Mexico State University. So on social media, all of it's all through New Mexico State. But if you type in Chaves County Extension Office, any of those in the search, you'll find all the Facebooks and social media stuff through there. A lot of it through Facebook there.
Yes, sir.
But do you guys do like the Twitter and all that too, or is it mostly Facebook?
Andrea's got a 4-H Instagram page, so they can find us on there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then our regular websites through NMSU.
Okay. So if you're an Instagrammer and you want to learn more about 4-H, you'll go like and follow that page. I guess that's how you do it on Instagram. I'm not really up to past Facebook and little Twitter. I'm kind of dumb after that. I actually have an Instagram account. I couldn't get into it even if I tried right now. I just know I have one, and there's probably a picture from 10 years ago on there somewhere. But yeah, it's there. Well, Tamara, thank you very much for visiting, as always. And if we need more time, or if you need something, as we get to some of these classes and stuff, and it doesn't really work within our schedule here, and you want to come on and get the word out about it, let us know, and we'll be happy to
absolutely
make
thank
that
you.
happen. Awesome. All right, it is 8:59. I'm way ahead of myself. Let's go ahead. Is it still Monday? I'm not sure. All right, it is closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is coming up next. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to replay an interview. Greg Nybert, state representative, joined us yesterday before he headed to Santa Fe for get ready for the legislative session. So he'll preview that a little bit as that gets underway today. So you'll see a lot of that in the news. Town Hall News up next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Democrats are forging ahead with their election reform proposals, even though it appears the Senate votes to pass the radical changes are not there. Debate today, possibly a vote tomorrow. Virginia's new Republican governor is vowing to defend the right of parents to decide whether their youngsters should mask up in school. Several school districts insist they will defy Governor Glenn Youngkin's executive order. It gives parents an opt-out option on school mask mandates. And the governor has already fulfilled several of his campaign promises, and he has outlined his vision of change to lawmakers in the divided Virginia General Assembly.
Youngkin reiterated many of his campaign pledges and offered some new specifics on issues including firearms and abortion policy. Youngkin told the Republican majority State House and Democrat majority State Senate, quote, I'm asking each of us in this body, Republicans and Democrats alike, to come together. He also called on the House chamber to allocate $150 million to meet his goal of creating 20 new charter schools in the state.
That's correspondent Bernie Bennett. The latest winter storm to hit the east has left a lot of snow and ice. Pittsburgh resident Amber Engelman telling WTAE-TV it's hard to go anywhere.
The streets are barely plowed, not salted, and it goes on for days that it's like this.
Things are going pretty poorly right now for President Biden. The assessment of American University poli-sci professor David Barker commenting on Mr. Biden's sinking approval ratings.
I think that it would be virtually impossible to be popular with the pandemic raging and with inflation raging as well.
Watching Wall Street this morning, the sell-off rolls on. Right now, the key averages are deep in the red, all down well over 1%. The Dow off 534 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index trading 266 points lower, and the S&P is down 72. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman. And often, this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Meadow Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Other license in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
It's feared the death toll will rise substantially in the wake of a volcanic eruption and tsunami near Tonga over the weekend. An update, the BBC's Michael Bristow.
So far, only 2 people have been confirmed dead, but pictures taken by the New Zealand Air Force show one village completely destroyed. It's thought some areas were hit by a wave between 5 and 10 metres high, which could have gone right across some low-lying islands. Elsewhere, about 200 volunteers were sweeping away ash from Tonga's main airport runway so aid flights can land. New Zealand is also sending help by ship, including fresh water. Residents have been told to wear masks outdoors because of poor air quality caused by the volcanic eruption.
South Korea's leader has arrived in Saudi Arabia, where he was greeted in Riyadh by the kingdom's crown prince and an honor guard marching band, the latest visit by a head of state to Saudi Arabia. News and analysis at townhall.com. Mexico remains a dangerous place for the press.
A news photographer is dead in Tijuana 1 week after another member of the media was killed in Veracruz. Photographer Margarito Martinez was well known for covering the crime scene in Tijuana, and the journalist who criticized local authorities, Jose Luis Gamboa, died last week. He was the director of an online news site. Martinez and Gamboa, the first 2 journalists killed this year in Mexico, but 48 journalists have been slain in Mexico since December of 2018. Jason Walker reporting.
Chinese state media say parcels mailed from overseas may have spread the coronavirus in Beijing and elsewhere. This despite doubts among overseas health experts that the virus can actually be transmitted via packaging. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Chris and Bjornos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
Welcome to it. First day back for some.
Second day of the rest of your life for the rest of you.
See. So I hope you're having a good one. I'm telling you. I saved it. I told you did, and I told you I would.
I was mad about it yesterday because I was like, oh no, I threw away my good spoon.
Uh-huh.
Dang it.
This is the MRE spoon.
To a single father of two, you have no idea what an MRE spoon, that's quality right there. You washed something like that.
I'm gonna.
Yeah?
I got to.
Nice.
But I'm gonna keep this handy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I'm an idiot pack rat. That's what I do.
Anybody sell tiny bottles of hot sauce?
Yeah.
Of maybe slightly off hot sauce?
It doesn't have to be still red.
Yeah. Yeah, why does it always look brown by the time you get it out of the MREs? Like, what happened? Where'd the red go?
Yeah.
The red went a little brown on me, buddy.
Yeah, and you're like, is that a new flavor? Smoke flavor?
Yeah.
Something?
I didn't know it came in gravy.
Yeah. It's called Tabasco Old.
Tabasco Old.
Tabasco.
Valentine Old.
Yeah. Soda will do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my possession a Coke bottle still full from the 1940s.
From the 40s?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know where they're at. I might have lost them in a move.
Uh-huh.
But I used to have 2 full Coke bottles from the 1984 Olympics, from the year I was born, that had like Sam the Olympic Eagle on the side of it or whatever. Like full. I have no idea whatever happened to them.
Interesting.
I desperately wanted to, I don't know, at some point wanted to like crack it open and try it, get like horrible botulism or whatever.
And I've got like some foreign Cokes and Pepsis too. Like I got a Russian Pepsi, I've got like a Saudi Arabian Coke, a Kuwaiti Coke.
I had a Romanian Fanta bottle in my possession at one point. A German something or other too, actually.
I got a German Coke in my possession.
But some German Coke? Dang.
I do.
I know, it was that kind of party.
But no. And I think what started this was my grandmother, my mother's mother, who I lived with and was kind of raised till I was about 4 years old. In her kitchen, the entire time she was alive, she passed away in 1988. She had in the kitchen, like she had those the shelves, the cabinets that had like that little shelf above it so you could put stuff on.
Yeah. So there was the additional shelf.
2 things that always fascinated me.
Okay.
One was when I was like 2, they made a panda bear cake for me. And so there was this cake mold of a panda bear that always was up in the corner. I was like, why can't we make that again? You know? The other was this bottle of Coca-Cola. I'm going to say it's like a 32 or 40. I don't know off the top of my head.
Right.
Glass bottle shaped just the old Coke, still full. And I believe it's from the 40s.
That's insane.
And when she passed, I wanted it. That was the one thing I was like, I want that Coke. And they gave it to me. So I have it in my possession.
That's awesome.
But over the years, it sits on a shelf. And if you neglect it for a while, all the black and brown go to the bottom.
Sediment, yeah. So you just kind of got to jiggle it a bit.
So you got to jiggle it to stir it back up. But you can see, like,
the separation.
Things of floaty in there. I wouldn't drink it.
Oh, of course not.
But
no, at this point, it's poison.
Yeah.
But it's amazing for just the nostalgia of it. Like, I've always been a little bit of a bottle collector, like, since I was, like, 13 or 14. And I remember the bottles that kicked it off. I think it was either my uncle or my grandmother had, I think it was Avon used to sell cologne in these very unique bottles.
Okay.
Like ones that were shaped like cars.
Oh, yeah.
And like just different
I remember.
things.
They had like
sometimes they were wine bottles or whatever.
I think they usually do them around the holidays as like a collector's deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But one that was like shaped like the old Rambler car.
Yeah.
Like the old like 1940s. Yeah. So I had like a couple of those.
My grandparents had liquor bottles like that.
That's awesome. And then similar to that, I don't even know where I got it, but I had this, it was a wine bottle, but it was literally green, like thick green glass, and it was shaped like a thing of grapes.
Okay.
And so that was like part of my collection. So I had all these that was my thing, was unique bottles. Now my whole collection is just how many weird sodas have I drank over
now
the
you got
years.
an army of bacon flavored, pea flavored.
Dude, I was thrilled that I had just enough bottles to fill the entirety of the backside of that shelf. It was like perfect symmetry.
It's like a bar for a 6-year-old.
My inner OCD was gonna, like, if I'm like one bottle short on this, I'm gonna be so mad. I have to go to the store and just get a weird soda.
You just get a weird one. Well, I got a couple over there if you need to borrow for balance.
Yeah, but I would have to empty it out.
Oh yeah, mine are all full.
Yeah. At that point, those are so old. I
keep mine full. That's what I'm a full guy.
And I wish I would have. I'm the guy who could never hold on to an action figure. Like if knowing that there's like an action figure that's worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Like I just found out that
I could be 100 air if I had kept some of my Star Wars stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah.
One of the figures I have in my set, it's actually a tag team. It was released with an imperfection. I just recently found out it's worth like, I think one character is worth like 170 in box and the other was worth like 230 in box.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I opened them.
Yeah, of course. But you're kids. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's why they're so valuable.
I'm 37 and I don't let my kids play with those, but that's not the point.
Because back then, one kid out of every 100 played with or kept it in the box.
Kept it in the box.
That's why they're valuable. The rest of us destroyed them. They're in landfills somewhere.
That's the kid that got beaten up in elementary school. That's the kid that got, the self-confidence eventually once he got to college. And that's the kid that's making bank now on Bitcoin.
My Death Star sitting in the landfill with E.T. the game. That's where it's,
you
know what I mean?
Down in Alamogordo.
Yeah, well, not that one, but, because I stopped playing when I was 27. But yeah, I mean, G.I. Joe, I had a bunch of that.
I've been
Transformers, like I had the old school Optimus Prime where the trailer was like a base and then the actual Prime was.
Dude,
that thing's probably worth money if you still had it.
I've been fascinated watching these different YouTube compilations. Basically, it's these groups of dudes that go to just random toy shops, but these I know they exist all around the country. I'd love if we had one here in southeastern Mexico, but they just have vintage toys, like old school 80s, like the wrestling figures, the old like Transformers, all these new in box still, but then like the Evel Knievel stunt cycle,
I had
they
that.
have one of those out of the box or whatever, but
I
it's
had
like
that
for sale.
That thing's worth money now.
The old Snoopy snow cone machine from back in the day, they actually have like one of those, like where the plastic's kind of yellowed, so it's been used a bit.
No, the Evel Knievel one I had.
Right, that's why I brought that up, because I knew you did.
I had the red one, because I think there's a red one and a blue one.
Was it the blue? Okay.
I think they...
the red is the one I remember.
Because what it was it's a motorcycle with Evel Knievel, and then there's like this ramp launch pad thing that you put it on, and mine was red, but I think there were some blue ones too, and then it had like a rip cord.
Right.
That you ripped it, and then Evel would take off for about 10 feet and then crash into something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had that. I loved it. My Uncle Buck gave me that, who was not related to me at all.
John Candy?
Yeah. No,
wow.
Different Uncle Buck.
Oh, okay.
Before Uncle Buck the movie. He was my grandmother's boyfriend who passed away.
Oh, in hindsight, that movie must have fascinated you then. You're like, wait, what?
All my Uncle Bucks were raging alcoholics. Yeah, but Pop's what I called him. But he was Uncle Buck to everybody else. I was like 3, so 2, 3 years old. But yeah, he used to hook me up with stuff like that all the time. Awesome. I remember like I had a playpen they set me in, and I remember this. This is weirdly enough, in my grandma's house, and literally there was tons of toys that were probably too old for me, like Evel Knievel, because Pop would just give me toys and throw them in there. Yeah. And I probably should have waited about 3-4 years to get Evel Knievel, but I had it when I was like 2.
No, you were advanced. It was cool. It was fine.
Which I have no idea what happened to
Evel.
Evel.
Sparks. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember that? I'll remind some kids or some people that are my age of some of the toys that we had growing up, when we were kids. When I was an older kid, they released these, they were like fairies. They had the ones for boys that were like the dragon fighters, but it was like this like thing you'd hold in your hand with a pull string. Okay. And you'd put a character up on top of it, and when you pulled the string, it would spin this thing, and the thing had like wings that would pop out.
Oh yeah.
And it would fly.
They've had more advanced
projectile weapons. We used to fire these things at our friends. You figure out how just the right angle to like tilt it to then rip it. Yeah.
I've seen videos of versions of those, and the one I saw was like a Princess Tinkerbell one.
That flew into the fire.
Yeah,
that is so good. It just immediately, she was so happy about it. Just immediately, it commits her like a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah. No, I had sit and spin.
I had a sit and spin as well.
I had
And dude,
a sit and spin. I had big wheel.
that's the thing. At some point in the 80s, they were like, you know what? Let's just make kids dizzy. Let's just, you know what? We're off getting high in the back room. Let's just get them high in the front
That's
room.
right. I had sit and spin. That's what I had.
There it is.
I had the blue one.
I had it was red and yellow with like the twisties on it.
Yeah, I had the blue one with the yellow and red twisties.
Right.
And then I had a Tonka truck that was
The metal one?
a Jeep one that was about 2 feet tall.
Okay.
And you could take the tires off and then change the tires. It had a fifth one for the back of the Jeep, and then the one you could take the tire. And you could fit like a Barbie-sized person in it.
Right.
Problem is, I lost all the dang ttires because you could take them off, and sure, they went the way of the dodo. So now I got a chassis sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
Like the rest of my toys.
It's sitting up on toy cinder blocks.
Yeah. Just like real life.
Back there with pop stuff.
That's right. Put out in the front yard on cinder blocks.
Next year, we're going to get him an old toy busted TV.
Right. And a crappy toilet.
And a working TV to put on top of the busted TV.
That's right. And then a toilet to fill with plants.
A whole set of toy salad dishes that all say Cool Whip on the side. It's the redneck collection.
And then a pink flamingo. All right, on that note, 9:17, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have low pressure crossing eastern New Mexico today, and that means gusty wind for us. We will have plenty of sunshine, our afternoon high going up to about 70, wind gusting at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Clear tonight, we drop into the upper 30s to around 40 and still windy, and then a lot cooler on Wednesday with our high in the mid-50s and sunshine. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 28%. Winds a little breezy out of the west of 14, gusting to 26. They will be picking up today. Red flag warning will kick in officially at 11 o'clock this morning, remaining in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Today, warm and sunny, high of 73. That's the good news, but the winds are going to be up today out of the west, 15 to 20, increasing 25 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour later today. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 38. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, increasing clouds, high of only 55 tomorrow with northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying there's a chance of snow, 20% chance of snow after 11 Wednesday night. Mostly cloudy otherwise with an overnight low of 25. Northeast winds at around 10 miles per hour. 20% chance of snow showers Thursday as well. Gradually becoming sunny, but a high of only 37. Under mostly cloudy skies for a hunk of the day with east winds 5 to 10. Friday, mostly sunny and a high of 52. We do have another 20% chance of snow showers Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 46, and then mostly sunny, high of 53 on Sunday. All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to play our interview we had yesterday with State Rep Greg Nybert, previewing the legislative session, which gets underway later today. Don't go away.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907. Or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Does it ever feel like your doctor isn't listening? like all they have to offer are pills. You deserve a healthcare provider that listens to you, one that listens to your concerns and works hard to find solutions. Roswell Medical Clinic focuses on functional medicine, working with you to find the root cause of the problem and a solution that works for you, so you can feel better and live happier. Because you deserve it. Trust the providers that listen. Roswell Medical Clinic, 111 West Hobbs in Roswell, or call 623-3311.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Hi, I'm Dennis Kintai, Mayor of Roswell. Since becoming mayor in 2014, we've accomplished a lot. We've cleaned out numerous derelict structures that spoil our neighborhoods. We've constructed a state-of-the-art aquatic center. We have built 2 new splash pads in city parks for families to enjoy. We have invested over $25 million to revitalize our air center. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Roswell has stayed open and free while we work to ensure everyone's safety. Today, we are under attack from those trying to impose Santa Fe values on our way of life. I will always fight to keep Roswell values front and center. We've done a lot, but there's more to be done. I'm asking you to vote to keep me, Dennis Kintai, as your mayor on March 1st. Together, we can keep Roswell free. This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning is State Representative representing District 59, Greg Nybert with us. Good morning, Greg. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning, Mike. I certainly can.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you for spending some time with us on the phone here. Of course, Representative Nybert will be heading to Santa Fe here later on today to get ready for the upcoming legislative session. If you don't mind, before we kind of talk a little bit about, what you anticipate and all that, for folks that are either, new to New Mexico or don't really understand how our legislative session works. For folks that don't know, we do every year the legislature meets. They meet for a 30-day session, and every other year, and then the year in between, they meet for a 60-day session. This year, they'll be going for a 30-day. If you don't mind, just kind of give a quick, just short description of the difference between the 30-day and the 60-day in terms of what you guys work on and things like that. It's a little bit different in the 2 sessions. If you don't mind, just kind of explain that for folks.
Well, in New Mexico, our Constitution sets forth the times that the legislature is required to meet, and we are to meet on the 3rd Tuesday of January each year. In odd-numbered years, we're to meet in a 60-day session where the legislature has a blank slate. In other words, we can introduce any pieces of legislation that we deem to be beneficial to the people of the state, and the agenda is set by the legislature themselves.
Gotcha.
In the even-numbered years, the Constitution provides for a 30-day session as opposed to a 60-day session. It is limited in scope to revenue items and items that the governor believes needs to be addressed in the state of New Mexico. So the governor has a big hand in setting the agenda for the 30-day session.
Gotcha.
And so for a piece of legislation to be introduced or to at least get assigned to a committee, it has to either deal with the basically the budget, or it has to receive a message from the governor's office to be deemed germane. Now, there are some things that go on that deal with that a little bit. The rules of the Senate and the House leave it up to the House and the Senate to deem bills germane if they so wish.
Okay.
But generally, you have to have a message from the governor to get a non-revenue item on and assigned to a committee.
Okay.
In an even-numbered year.
So during the 30-day in the even number year, the budget, the finance stuff, does that take precedent over the governor's demand? Like for instance, as we get toward the end of the 30-day, if the budget's not approved, does that put some of the governor's agenda on the back burner before? Or, I mean, like in essence, you really have to have a budget before the 30 days are over. Some of the governor's requests may not be as necessary there. Is that the case, or am I way off there?
That would largely be the case, and that's certainly the case every year. One of the things that we do have to do as a legislative body is to pass a budget for the functioning of state government. If we do not pass a budget, then unlike the federal government that has these continuing resolutions, we could not continue on because government would not be funded.
Right.
In fact, that very issue was somewhat dealt with a month ago when the courts demanded that the governor bring all the federal dollars through the legislative process and did not allow her to independently spend those funds without legislative action. And that was a victory for the legislative body when the court confirmed that issue. So the budget's something that we, as the legislative branch of government, have to weigh in on. We have to pass a budget in order for the state to continue to function as a governmental entity.
I did get a chance to over the weekend to see in the news some of the things the governor wants the legislative body to address. A lot of it dealing with teachers, education. Some of your thoughts there. I mean, yeah, I see what she like her. I don't know if it's a wish list or saying this is what you need to do or however you want to call that. On paper, some of it seems very nice. Yeah, sure, I'd love to be able to do this, but in reality, what as a legislative body, do you think some of the things she's asking for are feasible, or are they a little over the top?
Well, I think some of them will probably get pared down through the legislative process, but I think her major items that she put at the very top of the list, the pay increases for public education. I suspect that will get legs. Probably already has gotten legs. I'm kind of down here by myself because both Representatives Anderson and Zell are on House Appropriations, and they started meeting last week.
Oh, okay.
Up there
so they had to go up early.
Yeah, they've been up there for a week dealing with the budget already. So I suspect that a lot of the things that the governor has said are her priority have already been brought before that committee, and I, in talking to my colleagues, it looks like some of those things are going to be get through that process.
Sure.
Some of the other things I think face a steeper slope and probably don't get as much traction, but that's part of the legislative process.
Sure. Well, and it's like anything else. The things that move the needle and get people excited or upset, those are going to be the things that get covered more and get a little more spotlight on it just because they draw more attention And let's face it, for people, running for approval of people, they're going to want to do the things that make them, you know what I'm saying? It's so there's certain aspects that are going to get more attention or sexier because of the nature of what they are than others that, you just don't really hear much about. And so sometimes, if something is in the forefront, they're going to move harder to get that done than something that doesn't get so much of the media attention. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and as you've noticed, Mike, you've seen the news. You can see what her top priorities are because she's been on television the last few nights advocating for those what I consider critical measures that she thinks are at the top of the list.
Yeah.
We first heard about public education pay raises. We've heard the last couple of days about crime and violent offenders. That's certainly going to be on the message.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating for those of us in southeast New Mexico because we've been trumpeting some of those concerns for as long as I've been in the legislature.
Sure.
That criminal justice reform meant something different than what my colleagues on the majority side deemed to be criminal justice reform, and that was let them go, let them out. And now they've finally figured out that maybe that's not a good policy and that it has dire consequences. So we're hearing that.
So does that give you some optimism a little bit that maybe some of the legislation that, like you said, you and your your kind of constituents here in Southeast New Mexico have been saying for a while? Is it pandering or is it some kind of, all right, finally they're seeing what we're seeing?
Oh, I think it's it's disappointing that we've had to go through so many years of pain to get to this point because a lot of people have been really hurt.
Sure.
But on the other hand, moving forward, I'm pleased to see that they're finally understanding that there has to be some consequences to evil actions in society, and so increasing the statute of limitations on second degree murder, increasing sentences for those really violent crimes are something that we've been advocating for a long time.
So can I ask, like when she's talking about, like, for instance, pay increases and things for education and all that. Yes, we all would love to pay teachers more. But there's a finite amount of money out there to spend. That's why we have budgets and everything. If they're going to put a hard press to make sure teachers, which I'm great with, don't say I'm complaining because I'm not, but I understand also that if you put more money in one place, the money's got to come from somewhere else to fix that. So if the legislature goes through and passes some of the stuff she's talking about, does that mean that there's going to be less pork money spent, or more seriously funded things going to take a hit here, you think?
Well, we're in a very interesting time. We've had some serious challenges with respect to COVID and the shutdown of businesses, people being unemployed, tremendous amounts of money going to unemployment and stuff. But yet we find ourselves in a very good financial position as a state. In fact, this year's budget is proposed at $8.3 billion, which is significantly above the $7.4 or so billion budget last year. That's a huge increase in monies. Now, some of that may be federal dollars coming in, but we've also had very strong economic activity. And I don't need to remind you, a lot of that's a result of what's occurring down here in southeast New Mexico with respect to oil and gas production.
Right.
So we have strong revenues. We have a good year for revenues. And, the concern that the Southeast New Mexico legislators always warn the folks up north about is the oil and gas industry, it goes up and it's really nice, and it comes down and it's really bad. And so don't get really crazy on spending when your basis is a very cyclical type of commodity that goes up and down pretty quickly. And so, I think there's some things that we can do and ought to do. But again, as you know, my focus has always been take this largesse and put it toward infrastructure that oftentimes gets neglected, because if we have some extra money, deal with those needs that when they're repaired, they last for 25, 30, 50 years.
Sure.
And you get some bang for your buck for the long term. If we just simply take all that money and put it toward recurring expenses, then we get in trouble down the road.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to have those dollars, whether it's good times or bad times. So I hope, and I see in some of her statements that she does want to do some of that infrastructure spending as well. I just hope that the increase in recurring obligations is not getting way out of hand, that it's going to obligate the legislature 5 years from now from having a $8.3 billion budget, because we may not have those revenues as production declines, as the price of oil goes lower, what have you.
Yeah, well, that's been an age-old debate in New Mexico. You've always had, all right, it's good this time, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good a year from now. Let's save for the rainy day, versus the ideology of, no, we got a bunch of money now, let's spend it all while we still can. And then, that's kind of the big ideological difference between, conservative and liberal in New Mexico for a long time. And the oil and gas has kind of been that measuring stick a little bit on what to do with that funds, and see that I don't think that ever will change, will it?
Probably not. But, we see it a lot more drastically in southeast New Mexico than the rest of the state. I mean, we see real effects of a very cyclical commodity, oil and gas. And we've seen it as recently as the last couple of years. Hobbs and Carlsbad, right before the census, they were really blowing and going and had a lot more people. The census came out, and frankly, I think both communities were rather disappointed in the numbers, because they knew from water usage and everything else that they had much greater population as early as 2 months before the census. But, the price of oil dropped, COVID hit, and all that stuff was going on. And a lot of those folks went back, quote, home, close quote, to where they came from, and they weren't counted in the New Mexico numbers. And so we see dramatically how the price of oil and how the demand for oil affects not only the money coming into the state, but we see how it affects our communities, how it affects our neighborhoods, how it affects our schools and everything else. And we see it firsthand here.
Well, it's hard for, even sustained growth for communities like that. I mean, just talking, not even so much population, but with the commercial and encouraging other entities to come to New Mexico. If you have a very volatile population like we see in some of our oil and gas communities, where 1 minute there's 100,000 people there, a year from now it could be 15,000. It's just the nature of oil and gas. But that's got to also hurt the other side too, because you look at, like you said, the census numbers. The commercial businesses and companies and things are saying, hey, are we going to move to New Mexico? Well, let's look at the number of people and things. And if that's all over the place or not consistent, they're not going to want to set up shop either. So it is a huge trickle-down effect on some of that stuff, too. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about there.
That's true.
Getting back to the crime thing real quick. Now, like you said, the governor over the last couple of days has been in the news, in the media, proposing heavy about, kind of cracking down on crime during this legislative session. Are you going to see a lot of support, you think, from the other side in the House or in the legislature? I think, especially we've looked over the last couple of years, and there is a heavy percentage of quote unquote progressives in the legislature, and the talk of defund the police and all that kind of nonsense. Is there going to be some resistance to some of the governor's measures here from the other side, or are you going to see people work in concert with what basically some of the stuff you and your constituents have been saying for years here?
That's somewhat of an unknown. I saw Senator Cervantes, who's chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, questioning whether or not he is fully supportive of some of those measures.
Yeah.
I know the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Gail Chasey from Albuquerque, she is generally fairly hesitant about increasing penalties for crimes. And so it'll be interesting to see how much support the governor gets on those measures. I do think at the end of the day, a lot of those measures do get some traction. They may not get 100% traction, but I suspect that there will be significant momentum behind some of those measures to get the issue not only debated but get them passed. The issue would be whether you get an extra 10 years or 5 years or 15 years. What's going to be the increase in the penalty? How long is the second-degree murder statute of limitations? Is it the current 6 years, or is it going to be basically the same as first-degree murder, unlimited, or is it somewhere in between? I suspect that it's going to be somewhere in between.
Gotcha.
Because in New Mexico, nobody really gets tried for first-degree murder anymore. It's all second-degree murder, and even if they found the person that killed all the women who were found on the West Mesa of Albuquerque, that person would go scot-free, because it would be virtually impossible to show premeditation 30, 40 years later. So those things would all be that person would go scot-free because the statute of limitations is run, and that's not what I think New Mexico needs. And so I'm glad the governor's picking up on that.
Sure. I just hope that, and this is where maybe some of the problems run deeper. We can still make all the requirements we want on our judicial system, but if they don't have the money and support, the number of judges they need, the number of courts, the dockets cleared. I mean, that's part of the dockets have been a mess forever, and there's huge delays and things. And yes, want to be tough on crime, things like that, but at the same time, if there's no support system to actually execute the laws and things you're making, what good are they sometimes too? So I'm all for doing that, but I also, my opinion is one of those things that's great, but we also need to make sure we have the infrastructure in place to handle these criminals and make sure that they don't get out on technicalities or get out because there's no room for them, or, you know what I mean? Just some of the side problems that we see in New Mexico.
Yeah. We have a huge problem today with the lack of officers on the street. They did a program last night on TV that so many of these street racers in Albuquerque are not being prosecuted because the police officer didn't show up at the hearing and the case was dismissed.
Yeah,
and
it's a real problem.
You have to have a sufficient police force to be able to allow those officers the time to go to court and to testify. And if they're out and held up from going to court because they're having to cover for lack of personnel generally, we're doing a lot of stuff for naught, because those folks get off scot-free without having to address the danger they cause society. So, it's a catch-22 in many ways. So the governor's proposal is to try to train more officers, and
good.
And that's a lofty goal, but I would also add, you have to create the environment
Absolutely.
that police officers or that people want to become police officers. And it's awfully difficult to say, well, we're going to pay you X amount of money, but, oh, by the way, we're going to also look over your shoulder and question your every move and
not back your play here.
You for every action you take. We have to come to terms with, we need our police officers to feel that they are respected and that the population supports them, because right now there's a lot of police in the state of New Mexico who feel that the public is against them. Now, I don't think that's true down in this part of the state.
Sure,
but
but you're right.
True in other parts of the state where the police seem to be under tremendous public scrutiny. So we have to create a better environment for those police officers to work in, and we have to, as public entities, we have to support our police institutions and give them not only the resources they need, the personnel they need, but we have to give them the backing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one thing to say you support the people, and I mean, you're asking these people to serve and protect in our community, and then you don't back them up or try to Monday morning quarterback them every time on every situation. Yeah, people aren't going to want to do that for a living. So, I'm all for training and understanding and getting it right, but at the same time, how many times do we take things out of context based on 30 seconds of a clip, and you don't see what happened before or after to understand why what you saw in 30 seconds happened the way it happened? And you can't, the court of public opinion isn't the place to decide people's fates. I'm sorry, it just isn't. and we've got a whole lot of that going on right now, and it, unfortunately, it's a negative impact on law enforcement. So yeah, you're right. We need to curtail that to even have a chance of getting qualified, good people to fill these positions.
I think that may be more the key than pay. Pay is certainly important, but I think having that type of support structure is probably as important for those officers. And I think we've done a pretty good job in Southeast New Mexico with that issue, trying to support the police, the sheriff's offices, and our state police. I know that we have really appreciated the way that Lance Bateman and the officers here in Southeast New Mexico have dealt with a lot of issues under a lot of pressure to do some things, and yet they tried to really keep things at bay and really work with the communities instead of taking some drastic measures that they were being forced to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that in Southeast New Mexico, we've done a pretty good job of that.
Absolutely. I agree with you. We're a different world here sometimes than the rest of the state. I can see it every time I go up north. We're about out of time, but I do want to talk about one thing real quick before we go. With the marijuana bills and that the recreational marijuana, that's all going to be legalized here in a couple months. Municipalities across the state have been kind of trying to function and put together plans over the year. Is Santa Fe done with this issue, or are there going to be some guidelines coming from them, in this legislative session, saying, okay, I guess standardization a little bit. I think that's one of the problems we've been running into is now that recreational marijuana is coming, each city, each county, everyone's trying to figure out how to make the correct ordinances and things to do this. From what I'm hearing from our community leaders, county commissioners, mayors, city council, et cetera, are saying there's not a lot of guidance from Santa Fe on how to do this. Is that something legislature is going to get into, or is that not even on the radar at this point?
Mike, I don't think that is on the radar for legislative action.
Okay.
The way it was teed up in the special session where that bill passed was that it would be turned over to the regulation and licensing department to come up with regulatory parameters, and I think they've been trying to deal with those issues through the regulatory body ever since. And so I think the effort has been focused on the regulations, and maybe that will prove to be a mistake, but as it generally is, in my opinion. But
gotcha.
That's where I think the issue lies right now.
Okay.
Now, I do believe probably at some point, because of the haste with which that bill was passed, we are called back into special session to deal with that one topic, and I do think at some point you're going to see some amendments to that legislation as those issues percolate to the top, and you see, well, wait, we didn't quite do this right, and we need to tweak this or that.
Gotcha.
I think you will see some in the future, but I don't think you'll see it in this 30-day session. I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
But I think we gave the regulatory body until April of this year, March or April of this year, to come up with some regulations and things. And I think that's the problem that the counties and the cities are facing, is that they haven't received that guidance, and the regulations are probably not coming out yet. But that would be my guess for this legislative session, that we probably don't see any cannabis type of actions, and I don't see any of that on the governor's
plate docket here.
At least what she's put out so far. One thing on her agenda of things that she wants to do, she wants to use bond money to buy and to acquire land in conservation easements, and that goes hand in hand with the federal government's 30 by 30 initiative. And I can tell you that our counties down here are very concerned about government acquiring more land and trying to take land out of the tax base and put land in the government's hands, and that's an interesting one. I think that'll probably receive some pushback, certainly from the legislators in this area. There's an interesting issue regarding the use of hydrogen, or the manufacture of hydrogen from natural gas, and what do you do with the carbon atoms that are extracted off of that process, and there'll be some interesting debates on that issue.
Okay.
I was pleased to see that the governor may give us a little bit of a gross receipts tax incentive by reducing the gross receipts tax by 0.25%. Maybe I wish it was higher, but at least there's a little effort in that regard to reduce that tax a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see what the majority says about that. But
yeah.
I hope that anytime we can reduce taxes, I'm all in favor of that.
Absolutely. Well, we do appreciate you spending some time with us here. Safe travels up to Santa Fe. I'd love to maybe, I'll give you a call later or talk with you later, but maybe do a weekly check here or update as things are going here in the legislative session. I'll work with you in your schedule and see what kind of works best there. But if you're amenable to it, love to have some updates as the things progress here during the session.
Since it's so early in the morning and legislative time, things don't get rolling until at least 9 o'clock. It's quite possible that if you'd like, we could round up all the local legislators on a weekly basis and maybe phone in. And
that'd be great. If I don't, see how they feel about it. But yeah, I'd love to have them do that. I don't want to, if they're like, man, I want to sleep in an hour, then I let them do it.
Well, that's usually not on the agenda, but usually you can catch us with a little more free time earlier in the morning.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to talk to them and see if we can figure out which day we could do that. We'd just do it every week if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Do me a favor. Yeah. Kind of bounce it off them and see what kind of day of the week works best for you guys. And then from there, we'll kind of figure something out from there. How about that?
That works on this end.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for representing us here in Southeast New Mexico and fighting the good fight, even though some days it feels like you're fighting alone there.
Some days I feel like a Washington Redskin. just getting beat up all the time.
Yeah, but we're going to take our benches every place. They're real nice.
Yeah, and I guess I have to say that now it's the Washington Football Club.
Till February 2nd.
I go all the way back to when the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins had a real rivalry.
Yeah.
I was a younger kid, and oftentimes you came out on top of that battle. So anyway,
now they're just embarrassing. So
yeah,
well, February 2nd we'll have a new name at least, so we'll see how that goes. But
we'll try to get used to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again here real soon. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, that was Representative Greg Nybert. Big thank you to him for spending some time with us today. And they're heading to Santa Fe, or actually, a lot of his counterparts are already there. He'll be heading a little later today.
Shopify have launched a partnership giving independent U.S. merchants access to JD's 550 million customers.
The companies say the tie-up would allow U.S. brands to start selling in China in 3 to 4 weeks, compared with up to a year typically required to launch cross-border sales. They say the service will use JD's network of 1,300 warehouses and 200,000 delivery personnel in China. It'll also provide translation and other support.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Goldman Sachs reports fourth quarter profits fell 13% from a year ago. The New York-based investment bank did earn a profit of $3.94 billion, or $10.81 per share. With business, I'm Rich Thomason.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So yeah, I used the savings from switching to Progressive 50 years ago to finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. Because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell.